restore faith in governance, but we must commit to the hard work of change. You were not appointed to occupy space. You were appointed to solve problems. Let me remind you of the social contract we have entered into. The Ghanaian people expect us to deliver, and we must not with excuses, but with results. I've said before, and I repeat now, this is the legacy term of my presidency. I intend to make it count. I intend for it to matter. And I expect that every member of this administration will do the same. We must work with a sense of urgency, and President Jonathan spoke about the 4-year term. Our young people are tired of waiting interminably. Our farmers, our workers, our entrepreneurs, especially our women and youth, want to see policies that work for them. They want fairness, they want opportunity, they want to live in dignity and prosperity. Indeed, they are not asking for handouts. They're asking to be given a fair shot. And let's give them just that. The task before us requires leadership that is empathetic, that is disciplined and accountable, leadership that is not defined by titles, but by service, that is not defined by slogans, but by substance. And so I issue this challenge to each of you to lead your sectors with vision and integrity, to champion innovation, make decisions based on facts and data and not on guesswork, spend public funds wisely and judiciously, reject opulence, and never forget your first duty is to the people of Ghana and not to your own political survival, not to the applause you will get, and not to your personal gain. I want each of you to leave this retreat with a clarity of purpose and with the humility to keep learning. This job is not about knowing it all. It is about listening. For example, I'll stay true to the values. And please remember, when any of us fall short, I will not hesitate to act. I didn't think that was what you would clap for. Let us leave here with renewed determination. Let us work not for applause, but for results. Let us lead with honor, and let us remember always that the true measure of our success will be the lives we touch and the legacy we leave behind. And finally, let me remind us all that the destiny of our party and our future success depends on the legacy that this current administration will establish. And so we must give it our all. We must work together to make our party's future successful. I therefore have the privilege and honor to declare this executive leadership program duly open. My brothers and sisters, the problems we face are real, but so are the solutions. We can rebuild our economy, we can create jobs, we can restore faith in governance, but we must commit to the hard work of change. You were not appointed to occupy space. By thanking all of you for honoring us with your presence at this first dialogue on illegal mining. We know that the issues of illegal mining are dear to your hearts and to the hearts of every Ghanaian. And that's why we decided that from time to time we'll hold this dialogue. This is not going to be the last. We'll hold this dialogue to update you on the progress that we're making in the fight against illegal mining. Mining in Ghana has been historical, and when the first Portuguese arrived in Elmina, one of the first things we sold to them was gold, and that's why they built a fort in Elmina. Our grandfathers were involved in mining. The problem with the difference between then and now is that they use rudimentary tools to undertake the mining. And so the capacity to create destruction to the environment was very limited. The whole equation changed when the small-scale mining sector started deploying heavy earth-moving equipment. Before, it was only the big-scale mining sector that was involved in using excavators and bulldozers and huge dump trucks. At a point in time, the small-scale mining sector, which is a legal sector of our mining, it was passed in PNDC time to allow, because we realized that the big mining companies were owned by foreign companies, and Ghanaian small-scale companies that had the capacity to mine were prevented from doing so. And so the mining code was revised to add for small-scale miners. And as I said, there's a difference between small-scale mining and artisanal mining. Artisanal mining was what existed before, using pickaxes and shovels and so on and so forth. But when the new licenses for small-scale mining started, and they could afford to bring in excavators and bulldozers and others, it meant that their ability to destroy the environment was expanded. And that is where we currently have our problem. I want to assure you that we are determined to win this fight. And your contributions, your criticisms, your pressure, putting fire under our feet does not have any problem. We don't have any problem with that. You must continue to do your advocacy, to urge us on, to encourage us to win the fight. As I said in the last media encounter, I said that I had no illusions that within 7 months I was going to win the fight against Galamsey. And I said that it wasn't going to be an event, it was going to be a process. Mistakes have been made. In the first effort we made, we go into a forest reserve. We mapped out the forest reserves that had been that had incursions of illegal miners, and we deployed the first wave of our security services. They scored a lot of successes. In a short time, they had cleared some of the major forest reserves that were called no-go areas. Unfortunately, after we cleared the illegal miners from there, the security services withdrew and handed over the forest reserve to the Forestry Commission. And so they put their forest guards there. The forest guards don't have the capacity to defend the reserves against the illegal miners. And so lessons learned were that in the next wave, with the formation of NIMOS, that we must deploy it comes with a cost, because if you send troops and station them permanently to guard the forest reserves, we must feed them, we must provide them with fuel, we must give them vehicles and all the logistics they need to be able to do that. And so that links up with Franklin's question about budget. We need a substantially bigger budget than we have currently to be able to win this war. Happily, budget hearings have started. The budget for next year is going to be presented to Parliament. And my expectation is that the Minister of Finance will give a much bigger allocation to this fight against Galamsey. We also need enough troops. Our troops are stretched. We have so many chieftaincy disputes all over the country, land disputes. And so you go to Sampa, we have troops there. You go to Gonjaland, Savannah, there are troops there. You go to Boko, there are troops there. You go to Nkwanta, our troops are there. And then our troops are also on the border to protect us from terrorism. And so they are spread thin. If we take another batch of them and go and put them in the forest, it means that we are committing most of our troops to other things other than crime prevention and keeping us safe. And so that's why NIMOS is a combination of the police and the army. So all of them contribute troops. And then we also have national security also contributing and all the other agencies. But happily, we have some additional troops coming with the winding down of some of the peacekeeping theaters. And so when they come, as many of them as possible, we'll add them to the force so that we're able to dominate all the anti-galamsey sites and be able to win the battle. As he said, we have targeted 7 major zones in the regions, and the Army have come up with a proper strategy. NIMOS has come up with a proper strategy for engaging the illegal miners and making sure that we clear them from especially the forest reserves and the water bodies. One of the important successes is the change in the whole issue of excavators. Excavators came in huge quantities, and I remember that at a point under the previous administration, they asked that permits be gotten before excavators are imported. Meanwhile, the law did not say you should get a permit after, but that was what we came to meet, that you bring the excavator, then you go to the Ministry of Transport and ask for a permit. But the law actually says that you must get a permit before you import the excavator. And so now we're enforcing that law. And so you can't bring an excavator in, you can't put it on a ship, and we're telling the shipping agencies, if you bring an excavator for which there's no permit, we shall penalize you, the shipping agency, for carrying that excavator here to Ghana. In the meantime, we came to meet a huge quantity of excavators in the port. And that is what the Lands Minister was explaining to you, that we had to decongest the ports because there was no more space for anything. And so we've moved them to the military space at the Shire Hills and other locations, and we've corralled them there. One of the successes too is the registration of excavators. Even though the law requires excavators to be registered, nobody was registering their excavator. And so if you look at the DVLA records, there was no registration of excavators. And so anybody could bring in an excavator and take it straight into the forest. Today, we are requiring that every excavator must be registered with the owner of the excavator known. And once that is done, like he said, we started putting trackers on the excavator so that we know exactly where they are going to. It's not only illegal miners who use excavators, contractors working on our roads, quarries, and others all use excavators. And so it's impossible to just put a complete ban on excavators, but we must know where that excavator is being used for construction purposes. And so we now can hold the owners of excavators responsible if we find the excavator in a forest reserve or engaged in illegal mining. And so that's one of the advances that we have made. We started a geofencing policy where it makes it possible for us to know where every excavator is, so that if the excavator moves after where it was geofenced, then we can go and find out where did this excavator go and what is it doing where it has gone. And so that would help us. With regards to turbidity of the water, as the scientist said, it's just about, you can see physically with your eyes, you know, what the turbidity of the water is. The thicker brown it is, the more coffee-like it is, the more polluted it is. The less it is, the less polluted it is. And so, like he said, we are scoring a few successes, especially on the Ankobra. I believe the minister chose the Ankobra to start because it flows through his constituency. And so there are some successes, but like he said, we still have the Pra, we have the Densu, we have the Birim, you know, we have the Ofin and all of them. But that means that we must get more manpower. The Blue Water Guards have started work, and a lot of them are deployed on the Ankobra River. So far, we've recruited 1,000 of them. We pay them an allowance of, if you take away deductions and other taxes, of about 1,500 cedis a month. And so if we have 1,000 of them, and we pay about 1,500 a month, it means for a year, you're talking about roughly 18 million cedis. And that's for 1,000 of them. And so if we scale up, then it means that we need more money to employ more of them. But I endorse it because it gives them an alternative source of income. Because as they are fighting the pollution of our water bodies, they are also earning an income as a kind of alternative livelihood. And so that is something that we'll have to scale up. And so the Minister of Finance in doing the budget must make extra provision. We also have to start reclamation, because it's not enough to just stop them and drive them away and leave the land scarred the way it is. And so there are a few companies that have worked with the United Nations, and they have come up with some trees that help to regenerate the soil and can also take out toxins from the soil. If you've heard about the green Sahelian wall that the United Nations was sponsoring, some of the companies involved there have also come and tried those crops in areas that we want to reclaim. And they say that the tests are positive and they can work with us. But of course, we need to use these bulldozers and things we have recovered to level out the land before these vegetative, organisms are put in the land to be able to reclaim the land. So reclamation is one of the areas that we must look to. Happily, we should be able to get some support from green climate funds and a lot of these green funds to assist us in reclamation. But we must put our resources in first. The menace of illegal mining, and I've been trying to find out about best practice, and I found out that apparently we are not the only ones suffering. The high gold price is pushing a lot of people into gold, especially gold. Gone into, and there's violence, people have died, all kinds of things are happening. So we might not be the only persons, but there are success stories we can learn from. Because if you look at Chile, for instance, they've been able to formalize 90% of their small-scale gold mining. It means 90%, they were in the same situation as us. But today, 90% of their small-scale mining is formalized. And they have control of it. They inspect, they make sure that they're doing the right thing. We can also achieve that. And so even though we're not alone facing that menace, I believe that we can use the best practices of Chile and others to also formalize our small-scale mining sector and make sure that we're able to take control of it. And that is part of what we tried to do when our colleagues died in the helicopter crash. We contacted the big mining companies. Some of them have concessions like 200 miles square. And they're not going to mine all of that concession today or tomorrow. There are some of the places they've explored and found that the gold content is so low that it's not really profitable for them to start mining. But for a small-scale mining company, because of their lower costs, they can mine it effectively. But they must do it responsibly. And so together with the big companies, we said, okay, let's start this cooperative mining, seed part of your concession, so that we can move the small-scale miners from where they are causing distraction onto your concessions. And then you can help us to monitor them and make sure that they are doing the right things. So that was what we were going to launch in Obuasi when the tragic accidents happened. The first was Anglo Gold. Anglo Gold agreed, and they carved out a part of the concession. I'm happy to know that since then, Newmont have come on board, and cooperative mining, and some of the other bigger companies have agreed that they will carve out part of their concession so that we can move these illegal small-scale miners onto those places. And so we'll continue to do that. We also have the issue of geology and geological exploration. Currently, our mineral prospects have not been explored adequately. Happily, there's new technology generated by AI that allows those with the technology to partner with our geological survey department. And what they do is they shoot seismic from satellites, and they're able to map out exactly where a mineral prospect is. Currently, when our small-scale miners get a concession, they go and dig this place. There's not enough gold there. They leave it. They go and dig there. There's not enough gold. They leave it. They come and dig here. There's not enough gold. They dig here until they find something. By the time they find something and they're mining, they've dug all over the concession. Today, it's possible to precisely map out where the mineral prospect is. And that's part of what Gold Board is trying to do. That is their other responsibility. That is to give geological survey money together with their partners to shoot the seismic for Ghana and show where exactly the resources are. And based on that, do PPPs with Ghanaian mining companies that will mine that gold responsibly so that they don't go around just digging everywhere. So that's one of the things that Gold Board is going to introduce. And this fits into their track and trace system, which they are going to launch, because we cannot export gold to the European countries because of LBMA restrictions. And yet, if we introduce a track and trace system, we should not only be able to export to the Asian countries and the Middle East, we should be able to, once the gold has been tracked and it's known to have come from responsible sources, then we can export it into the LBMA countries. And that allows us to get a much higher price, for our gold than we currently have. And so Gold Board has to activate that other aspect. Aside from that, we're looking at best practices for small-scale mining, because small-scale mining is not restricted only to Africa or to Ghana. It is done even in the advanced countries. And so there are small-scale mines in Canada, Australia, even in the United States of America. And that's why when I spoke the other time, I said that we're contacting some of them so that our Small-Scale Miners Association, could be sent to go and see that you can do this in a much better way than we're currently doing. Happily, we've trained a lot of geologists, we've trained a lot of mining experts. University of Mines and Technology has trained so many of our young people who have the technology and the ability to do so. And so the intention is to attach these graduates of UMAT to the district mining organizations, and they would help the district mining organizations to go and inspect the small-scale mining industries and make sure that they are doing the right thing. Normally what you do is, before you start, you must dig what they call a tailings dam to contain any water that you use to wash the gold. And so all the gold that you wash must go into the tailings dam and is contained. And after you wash the gold and you finish mining, you're supposed to cover the pits, and then after that, there are chemicals that you can use to clean and detoxify the water. I'll come to that in a short while. But like I said, it's not an event, it's a process, but we will never give up. It's a long journey, but we'll continue to work on it. I like that somebody raised that, what are we doing to the kingpins? Because most of those 1,400 who have been arrested are young youth who are looking for something to be able to look after themselves. And we'll prosecute them, we'll imprison them. But those who run those operations are the ones that we must be arresting and imprisoning, not these little boys, And so we need to change our strategy. We can arrest the boys and all that. Be given, there's no slap on the wrist. What's the least sentence? 15 years. 5 to 15. Yeah, so we'll catch these boys and we'll feed them for 5 years. Look after them for 5 years and discharge them. But like I'm saying, maybe we can look rather for the kingpins and deal with them in a major way so that we are able to get something on this whole thing. With regards to toxification of the waters, like the EPA was saying, we've started some pilots. There are new chemicals that have come that allows you to treat water and take out the toxins and the heavy metals. There are new chemicals that have come. One of them is called dioxin. The people came and we sent them there. They took samples, they tested. We're waiting for them to bring the results back. But there are other ways of dealing with gold, that is processing gold, without using mercury and cyanide. There are different for instance, you have what they call vortex concentrators. You put the gravel in there, and it's a vortex. It's like a centrifuge. And all the heavy things sink to the bottom. And you're able to take out the water, and you see the gold lying at the bottom. And you don't need to use mercury and all that. There's carbon filter. There you can use carbon filters to filter the water in order to be able to take out any toxins that are in there. They call it activated carbon filtration. You have reverse osmosis that is capable of taking out heavy metals and others, from the water.
Well, join your Facebook page that Nase. My man, I see my Joe Topman. Bless Evans. Bless Evans. I say Ojaba Gabaski. Ojaba. I say Francis was say I say and I say come in Nusa Muhammad. Thank you so much. Edusa, say Francisca Adom Monsieur Jonas Andy someone Ado Ewa say Dixon Dagadu is here with me on your Facebook page. Yadamunina say and area but very interesting Ibia Koso my entie Abua Papuama Baumia camp no reply be here me pa hear me pa and me person man for tie reply you say a liar versus your friend is say on fra Canada Japan say loose talker. So Canada Japan is a loose talker. That is what uja from company say. And Abua Papa say a loose talker is better than a liar. I don't know. Yana menya. And let me share video be one guy be almost was spy say obey yeah. Obey
Japan a loose talker. Ghanaians prefer a loose talker who create jobs opportunity for the future generations of the ordinary people than a flip-flopper who the ordinary Ghanaians see as a liar and a blatant liar who is a snake and a wolf in a sheep clothing. Ghanaians who prefer somebody who will insult them and give them job and give them a better life than somebody who will lie in front of the Ghanaian people and eventually lead them into an abyss. We are the grassroots people. Canada Japan a loose talker. Ghanaians prefer a loose talker who create jobs opportunity for the future generations of the ordinary people than a flip-flopper who the ordinary Ghanaians see as a liar and a blatant liar who is a snake and a wolf in a sheep clothing. Ghanaians who prefer somebody who will insult them and give them job and give them a better life than somebody who will lie in front of the Ghanaian people and eventually lead them into an abyss. We are the grassroots people. Canada Japan a loose talker. Ghanaians prefer a loose talker who create jobs opportunity for the future generations of the ordinary people
Seth Antobam say Kwabena, so now you guys you have just soon forgotten about we the branch executives. Seth Antobam, me national executive member. Me national and I come to me national executive member.
Now when your constituency executive member,
me constituency executive member, and I will say,
I wouldn't be
why?
We are equal to a Sedun Katia.
Oh, how?
I am telling you.
How?
Eh?
Oh,
Kwabena?
Eja.
Kwabena?
Any bra, Bamisono, my avere, my bro.
The patron, you bred Monfambra Bra Kwabena, so maybe you need down Monfambreno.
Hey, near no dear Bakawa, me make me aswa.
What him the Intia? Say, I know. When this party in the mono, Umun Central for so much come for a chair party in penny for.
And Kolan was ya, okay, be more no much other part.
Other party there. So, Mon Chow and Natchez and where existed.
Okay, be more mono. No more, or other part.
Mon Chow cra.
Who complain? Don't know me complain. I'm a memo. Who did here?
Because they see a out to hey, Chief. Maybe a woo. Men I may catch them.
Captain, and you better.
What them say constituency chairman be? Baby, I bet you 2 cars say you do a baby upon a man. No. Constituency chairman do a baby and say, but oh, yeah. Abra?
And now say me down my tear pon a bear 140 because they say me you free. Come in the dear me in terms of
over cost what you are.
Because
one by Joda.
I said I did a radio the Kurano. Over power when you saw over porno I fast now. Wababa Bokanano.
Ah, was a man. Who cried away and looking say, oh, one more time you.
Charlie,
yeah, no, who's out if I was almost one of Faka.
No, but and I know them the Amatia catch the back say, me yashi, while I buy no more, me yashi or party no more.
Now, some to me office no be able say. Or deputy Nadmu. And Persian and dinner Mizan say, who may picture a ballot paper this one?
One way, not what the Amatia cast now cram with me was.
Oh, deputy Nadmu, I'm go funny.
Me go funny, hey. And I know be by ya. Or say, your friend say, o kodin krofo bi anu kwa brochire na sikana ashe entimi nkonko na me si me ko fa no he anyway fa no also your branch chairman
DCs ne ministers
yeah
omon China sa ne ma we omon tete so nkakra won say me asa adwuma no ye jabo mahama so ntem dodo me nam kachiro Inti akwai to say, sisi obi aka ne ho ana okọ Jubilee House. So wahwa so soon obi aka ne ho ana okọ Jubilee House. Obi aka ne ho ana okọ Jubilee House. But between me no me no. Na yenim Kufuor time, yenim Mahama Patwa.
Yes.
Then Kufuor ka omo ho omo nkọ castle, omo nkọ Jubilee House. No omo nkọ ministries, departments, ni agencies. Currently what is happening? Inti obi apese okọ Jubilee House. E kire say one wa president abo wondin edi dwuma bi ahye won sa no mba wo mu remfi se ofri fom ho na fosoro enti yenka sa asoafo na nya sika yenka sa MMDCs no enya dodode bi
yeah
yenka sa department and agencies mpenifo de dano na enya bibi nanso obi wo ho a ye branch executive a enya sika na ohwehwe opobi kura ma na fa phone afa na ka chense nyame nhia mo ya de pa na yenso ye mere be ba
asem no no
kuma to ne yem keke
asem ni nyina no
ne kuma to ne yem keke
me say asem ni nyina no
and say no ane obi yosoafo say ya time na no wo position no wo friend anadwo a obenya no e wo mu say obi oye minister no wo friend anadwo say ya wonya no obi te say okuja to he's always on the run
yeah
onam ama kofi bu asei onam nwuram
yeah
won aka ne nam obi e ne nam nti enim se wo ye osoafo a ye nyamra bia na sesi ni ye frɛ wo aye benya ho nanso ni nya ho ntobo ase se wo ye MP na wo say ye minister you go back to them
asem ni nyina no
oh you go back to them
and you nim say dey esi orphan constituencies ni kura the executives no omo for mo ya hwe orphan constituencies no so be say Ashanti region Asante Mampo ne omo for mo ya hwe because after all obepede
hwe Ashanti the t-shirt pen hepe
e be ba So I feel no more good anymore. Say, bedroom baby, I do you. And I mean, say, I can't be a year Kevin. Or can be, and it makes sense that you have about 40,000 and Kola will deploy one across the country. Some Kola will be say more. In fact, Captain, now more position make can send me chromo. Meaning, some of you so man you say pressure beba a year or Rajo Mama so the executive central government. Enti omonti monitoring team. Yes, I'm monitoring team very lazy between the presidency and the DC is no any ministers are at least omono be to say omono hwe full soldiers affairs so. Eya omono e be reduce e press because they say only DC bi akasa was nyame o mesoma ha enye. Eni sanya de ene ordinary kire.
Dem na wo DC in wusu.
Ah yeah.
So be answer say pre so be DC. Na ye de ama wa fe wusu. Kwabena SSO mo mani da ho ntem because he a form for no ho. Omo was strategy.
Sure.
A form for no was strategy chair soro for no. Enti no se branch executives ni start say wo team kakra. Yes, obi be kasa aye ntem dodo. Na so brapani. SSO by now DCB etimi atena se ehunu say me district na iswa. Enti se me chem 20 na me meeti women in groups are ebia within 20 days make me wie say adwuma nti say we
almost won't settle ye
yen ka say fasika ko we here so be settle no be won settle ye na Toyota Pajero no no be won settle ye na
say ene Obena obechina anesa
won settle ye and now one may renovate your office na talk nyamu na ma na atim no won settle ye
ya asemo
we want settle enti no as a plan na ni ho enti number 1 we DC ya chew this number 20 wa party for ni nyina ka ho 20 ni bi ukwa ha we share branch executives be 45 minutes bi Ansah wakoye main meeting no we the next point I be call branch executives ni ya aware wo ma ba be hia wo no wa kasa so we se busua ade no de tie ni se me ankasa kra DC kra market ya mai enti bibi an hye de ni ho na ye remfi mu nipa de bi ho akasa bi na opese obi ka kire no
asam no
kasa o you see this thing is just ne men kasa na men teme ho ase
captain me pacho ma mbusa de bi abetumi aboa se party we ni abanomu rap presidency is it that obi enu or more information as to their cost or grounds and as a omonte ana omote na omonfa ho because look unim it's a CNDC the kind of complaints are ye abontinu ye receive obi ho a wako Jubilee House am obi adidi natem o free presidents wa no oba ye ho obi ho a pani bia ene na exchange na say obi wo presidency asemwe adidi Najigezi atem
oh yeah
Najigezi for the mame
enyo ba no
so unim dia so we get a whole lot of complaints and the one now the bufu ba kwakwa to bomb abonte say we on steady na omobuafu but make us say sunipa no oba mu ani 4 years kra ya ye adwuma no free 2008 ya ye adwuma ma ho image mu adwuma free 2000 ya ye adwuma sa na say ya no na wabegya de ne de abofom ban me complaints pa me to say menua complaints e be a regional chairman e be a constituency executives e be wa a presidency for whatever reason e be to be send you audio yeah just you ask yourself so many questions
when say a party here nyede bampani fo na na man yede hwe politician bia wo position o wani waso oba ban mu a na so ayira
why
na kanani
ade
because on person beti de wo ka kire no o person te de ono a person ka kire ne ho South African politician it is say no mpanifo no bi wo a wo wani uni aso o wani uni aso eti de ekoba ina na ye de wo kae no say pressure na start John so and yema yenti e ho asese oye one person
aha edi an obeye
You see, the president cannot micromanage every department and agency of this country. Inti, yama pressure na kwa gune so sano, I started kwa sano. When I want presidency, want to be Philibi. Because one, chief of staff, or your party ba.
Yes.
No, Sansu ye Ghanani.
Yes.
Callistos, or your party ba, or your Ghanani. Ofosuku achede ya, no ako hinta. Because on a pressure no. E kwa no so a miniminu ano. Why you better than who so? Because a pressure. It's maybe a grown up quaco no. As I say, this is Nankasa no. A bomb so kakra. Kwabena no kwase mamin can play. Ye this is no. E bi me slow do.
Oh, kwambe so.
Omo ye slow do.
Oh, kwambe so.
Kwabena hwe. Who did this? CCA. Wo se aban tria oka.
Yes.
Nti sika ni ho aban o salary my.
Yes.
Assembly no niska.
Yes.
Nti omo free fuel ana. Nti omo free fuel ana.
Come back say bia na bibi boba no say giant.
Omo free fuel ana say won boye dey. Kwabena DC what orientation. Because DC no you president of the area.
Yes.
Enti se sika wo ho sika ni ho ni kwan so many people who se sika ni ho na sika wo ho. Ese se body language and the confidence level no so high, very optimistic about everything. Said about your nipa na wo district ni mo no wo hu obenya ni da so. If not more, Mahama campaign was hope.
But that and that's also almost say at the pressure about almost.
Baby, say that's what me my pressure there and they have been woody there na beba.
Say no be ama ho.
Na chese uku nipa no.
Obi ama ho dia o dwene ho.
If any that's what me my pressure there. And na chese abembo
ni. So perform that kwan say at least ubema ni bibi obi di ni ba school fees ba obi di adwuma samo ba obi di so these are the things almost they are running away.
Wo mpo mo ho so ketewa bi nkosoro kakra. Won say etoda ye ma me no mo no. Efie nyansa no Kwabena. Me ne wo fie nyansa no emu odu o. E chen won a omo so makosuku bebre. Ye ma me nim say aduane na ono ano esua. So okasa otete ama ye ntam aduane wo fie e beso ye yina na ebinim men.
Exactly.
Enti obese dey delay aduane no ano. Na wasoma ko anti ya manu ho e wo mampon ase ho na ka kire ne say ada no me ka se nka onfa de bi ma me oni pa se ma me ni ho.
Ai.
Na wasoma kwadio
na ubekọ so we ni da so say
ukwaji bi ya ma me o ma me no aduane o ba no na wonu ya ba ya me no ai ma me wa ho na wo me ja bode ye no man sa o se me ntwa na de bode ye ma e strategy. Enti bode no yehu banche no yehu sesi wo ba ye ma me nim say ono ama ne binku fa hwo sesi a about 3 o'clock ebi ni ho bi mo de be 7 pm e kombe kun ya najo wadar sa wadar what's about 5 no ono aka say dimirika mo papa wa he no wadwese so ayire so 6 pm no fufu no su tim yes so ye ndidi ya najo de enti ye ma me na twada ma ndidi ya najo ne say duane ni so
tu di wi akoda
da bo so gu su say dim no akoda
wotete down sa no akoda
enti no esesa membu no fie nyansa kakra bam efie nyansa kakra bi
you have a point
e ba beta ho wo nti ndema no bi ho a wo boto ano wa boto a no we jaya na nkrofo huhu kakra na wasa twe abegun finfi ha wo ha no wa tapia kakra e yesa beta no wasa boko no mo dimirika no wasa ese wo de fie nyansa kakra etotototo ho na omunjai kasa no
but wonya sure say bia omun biemu ema manfo meye bia akoye patakon ageko abobo adwuma enipa ba ko na ebonobo ade no ontimi
na de pressure ne ba
but ebonobo
na pressure
o kan bibia che na nkrofo wo mbetumi aboa wo se da bi mempre wonya sure say ye no a
hwe ebi no behave to say chiame a wabro nsa na ohene kasa de otia na yezuom Already I was it.
Oh,
Chiame a wabro asam no ohene kan so ohene kan de so we oti alizium no kroro
yeah na kasa
na kan say achame he ni yura say
do say
afi no kwa kobusa won enti no esese woto obo ase Kwabena number 2 wo manage mensini wo manage district wo manage municipal assembly district bi wo manage departments wo manage agency bia esese what here say esese time a wo set no wo this answer wo wase na di so
yes
this bi o ya punctual bia pressure ni so
quite beso
me na me catch wo pa bi say
no what kind of pressure they need so
this is not very punctual no they are able to tell. They can forecast into what can happen in the office. Into obedi kan edru office ho no share inside ho. Enti coordinating director be ba beto no. Accountant be ba beto no. Accountant ho am na abado. So party for that
so much.
Kodi yenyen dey. Pacho show mami. Se as a president catch Julius say show wisdom mami. Pressure is a free president. So.
A chief of staff. So,
but some of this in we year later about $1.
Okay.
Okay,
you have a point.
Yes, what one more? You see, what's not office? A more appointment and a strategy. Because the kind of the year dwelling your idea. And you want a fever. Now, wait me, I don't sabo to bam. Hey, one family and quiet. Come on, find the Maya. This would assembly is functionless. You can't function.
Bibi and Kobi.
You know what Bobie Beba. And just I said, DC is literally a best strategy how to handle some of these things. Now, in all sincerity,
yes,
DC, you know, Hono, your friend say, Tom C.
Yeah, young guy now.
Tom C. As I scan by no, and not take some of your feed Ghana. And on what two cars DC. And on them Crona Wokuma Wuni Naso, Obiambo Bombabuna, your feed Ghana, your codo. Straight. Obama no watch video. Obama no watch video. Obama no watch video. Obama no watch video. Where 80 Agric Minister nya launch feed gun and they say boom the first place on Koye Kumawu because this is na Bobo and what.
We be done that.
We be done that to what that. 80 ye be mo na pressure na won so no e fi ho. Say over 2,000 youth wa come agum. So it's a strategy. I feel so region be a wonimu dynamics. Ben na nanom no nkontokwa. We are DC, we are minister, we are CEO, we are Ashanti region. No say I want to me near want to me in region.
Even a cross board. Whether North East, whether Upper East, whether voter region.
Opinion leaders now will be in a want to taro.
But you see, Captain, the other side is my opinion leaders know Eddie Bonnie with impunity.
The Biano so ya no what
Tian? What
say
Captain, Sir Galamsey ya near Brea de Bia Wutiam opinion leaders he be break home. Say Bebre Kahon.
I feel they be so kakra. Me and am can so heat coming.
Bebre Kahon. And they do it with impunity.
Kwabena.
So,
senior.
But with a full soldiers and a penifona semno. We see a message say ba obi abebo bi akoye obi abebo another district be municipal be MC any omo nkasa obi kura be attest me say omo MC any party executives no eyaka.
Why?
You know
why? I understand Crawford as say your parliamentary candidate.
And you can't blame the local government minister.
And they don't blame that today.
You can't blame him.
At worst case scenario, I better recommend seeing you. You have from now. Local government minister Najuma Bakono recommend it. You know, you have from ra. Asa. Well, who ye parliamentary candidate? When you see election, they are your DC year. We do different level.
Yeah.
It's a man you want to say now that no women organizer no one you fine. Man what you say now youth organizer and support you. Man you want to say now constituency chairman on support you. And I'm saying to know who be there who pay. And I'm saying now no support you. And I'm back and I'm you be on no year nanti ase nyen to know. Oh year wo ho a chenchina techi ase hey. Ke woman nana said the idea no men no one ye fine at the very material moment obe yes idea no pepepe no one kasas DC no woko for how abeto ho so enti constituency executive na time na we parliamentary candidate na ono one ye fine no this is the time I say o chairman who say won ye fine pa chairman bra women organizer bra youth organizer bra ye do koto say we DC ya yes oh head district ne so but more real say party be na win power and I got na
but chairman for me so adwene
or hardwin
kagani women constituency women organizers no
so one hwe na obe hawo
because school feeding say obeti yes obi afa schools nsia obi afa de protocol credit amom no wafa e de akwa de busuani MPP ni
eno de no watia no waje Kwabena yi ye tie
no so na de asem
ko ba no de mfa asem bi amba wo ye ana wani mi no wa hye mi no bo so watemi wo ma constituency
ni temi ana wo fa ho tan
da bi wo fa me ho tan kura no sa tan no district ni na beboa me won ya ase aye party cemetery ya na ye suro say obi wo party no mu na de oyo no nya wo mu ntimi nka and na as a women organizer owo ho wo be ko ba bi so no ye san women organizer no
ye no so koso
na ya bodo matrike wo na ye de da komo bi foforo
ye no so koso
no so tepe no wadwa ye yankasa ye nyansem no ndwuma no bi ho aya cheche he ukọ district bia constituency bia youth organizer no on ye district no youth employment deben coordinator mwa
yes
okay region bia regional organizer ono na ye nadum coordinator mebwa okay and a district secretary no say parliamentary candidate or ho nya appointment and now win election now there's the likelihood say either the chairman or the secretary never be DC enti ade na san hihye ne da ho enti eduru ho men tom fumu bi aje nipa ne qualify so qualify there men tom fumu no na fe o mo mani nkofo mo no se Kwabena youth no expectations o mo Bahama ho no
very high
more underestimate
very high
and mebunu no hu say ase say mre ya ye o mo yemfie na nyankopon ne Mahama
at least obese say eniema de betwa the next 20 years
Kwabena
yeah
and mebunu no emfie na nyankopon ene Mahama say
and that is why you mu bi say eniema ko wrong na ye mahye because you ti nkomo ye wo street ni mu ye ti de ekoso and this bibi ya say ko wrong pena ya bo say masa
e dey na be
e dey be na be because nkola na need that so last hour
no
last hour
say wo mo fie na nyankopon nem jo mama
last hour
enti ena Mahama so ye nipa bako oko UN or faha or yesi or the namha na oko na obanti wo hwe enema ono ankasa as president o ka so oba obeye na Kwabena enye niama nketenkete o hwe sa big push o se den no eno no nko ade ekoto bekumu ma wo sa big push asem no a
se de obesi anante ho
president na ankasa kofa to no ho so no enye adwuma ketwa number 2 sa 24-hour economy ade na da ho no socha guzita no
your friend obo paye your friend obo paye
eno sa 24-hour economy no eno nko aso ya asem what dey no to nchen ya ba ko no kwa fe say
adwuma
wura eno so nko ya asem
adwuma wura no nya bete
eno so nko ya asem ade ne ho eba ansa ono na de feed Ghana na ba ye no wa so bam de ama agric ministry eno so ya asem ansa nkoko nketenkete no
masa
eno so nko these are 5 major things the president said me as the president
including Galamsey
me as the president no ye na me pesa me ye it is a who say president asset goals we amane ho a ministries department and agencies no wo goals we hen Kwabena proposals ben we who say set this ministry this department this agency and you to just say ye ni the president say oh 24-hour economy ye wo free zones mpacho me nka free zones onye bibia o me the example keke me am wo free zones no me share free zones enclave na 24-hour economy no ye from ha no You want to say this company, that company, this company, that company. You can't almost see any. One more bet me abwaye. I'm a lighting system now. Ebia a war Accra Central. Ain't me international. You bet me a solar, ya pilot. My yet me so. This is the proposal from Ebia free zones. Yen ye proposal for the 24-hour economy. Yen swa Ebia ye war extension officers are war under the Ministry of Agriculture. Senior extension officer and say this is my plan for the feed Ghana to 24-hour economy. No, obi bedi watch anajo. Kwabena me class eventually na tia say ye. Eno e come be dey man anajo no.
Okohi.
Me da ho sada fe bi ho so.
Okohi.
Na mada. And me try, I'm say help me wo.
Me who?
Kwabena 12 midnight me di banku tilapia.
And I, you know,
Abba. Me am home fine.
Bema be wudi adi basem.
Enti ye extension officers no so yes so ye plan ye dey aba in support of the 24-hour economy ni enti ye so ye fa one way into communication one way into this ministries department and agencies no one 24-hour economy plan we hin. So they are looking at the president.
They are looking at Gusitano.
Yes, and why are you looking at Gusi?
So no, but Gusi so you see because they're okay. So Gusi say Eddie. Only this thing you are saying around you was associated with the policy.
Yeah, well,
Masa, you're dear bra. We are dear bra. How do we implement it? How do we implement this one? How do we implement this one? Masa, how do we implement it? What be economy?
It's a 24-hour economy. Nanka said that hono. Wofa ministries department any agencies.
Musitano yem papati.
What one kasano den or moyo. Kwabena, what do you not turn chair? Yem Ministry of Agriculture. Wofa 24-hour economy. Now it is the best single policy that can sustain Africa. And you gano 24-hour economy. No, it is the single policy. A bit we are sustaining the whole Africa.
Now the engineer so my Adriana now production level at
but say ya me no say ya me no say what is the security plan for 24-hour economy? We have an IGP. What is his plan? We have a CDS. The plan for there were immigration officers who are playing the land and immigration controller no the plan for 24-hour economy no if I were the president I'll sack you.
There you. And yeah, executive no more breakwa.
And that's what I'm saying.
Because more breakwa now, you see, you can just get all these people for them to bring their plans.
That Kwabena, I by now. Guzitano to recommending me a PAM CEOs better.
Debbie, one moment and Bianca CEOs room recommending me a PAM no.
Oh you are.
Me papa.
But
because the point is, like you rightly said about just 3 minutes ago. If sir, what all those people said, well, for our plan, Breme, we for our plan, bar. We for okay, so Ghana police mo plan they say for the 24-hour economy. We discuss it. Okay, so how do we go about it? Obeka Cho say funds. Unim, let's find another way of raising funds. For now because even you can do PPP with it.
24-hour economy and require funds.
Well, young friend say Obeka Cho say one, maybe they don't have enough men. Two, they don't have enough equipment. But police for Obeka Cho say you go petrol anajo. You understand? What police service just to take cover. Now Obeka Cho say you go petrol anajo. So at least Gusitano will need a comprehensive friend say proposal from the Ghana police as to how they are implementing it. Yes, night patrol, we know. But we need a comprehensive document. You understand? A blueprint. Back into police, our 24-hour economy, a whole blueprint, a military, our 24, our navy for, medical service, or more than 24-hour economy. So you try to expand.
That's right. Kwabena, and only year. Maybe Transana study 24-hour economy, know how it can grow.
Yeah.
Apart from these ones that I said, I decided, say, me ankasa se me call district and that region be measure private companies are so I went to Cape Coast recently.
Okay.
Me visited 5 sports drinking bars in plus 2 nightclubs at Cape Coast. And when him say nightclubs and drinking sports at Ghana has sika wo mu che asort for die.
Oh yeah.
It is a 24-hour economy in penny for very smart people. One, this is what they have to do. They should have a private company summit. Private sector summit for the 24-hour economy.
Where all those,
That's right.
Groups,
Fantastic.
Ebeba.
So you do classification and you categorize the summit. It's private sector summit, for the 24-hour economy. Opening with the note here. Yeah, woye kotobeton bodria. One wo kokwanso kofa tomatoes. Kokwanso kofa jeni, kofa meko na odeba. Now obi be kase no obi akofa jeni ni meko de.
24-hour economy.
And now we remfi say obi sesi anadwi na ne car betu afi Burkina. Enti car no be ba bedru eye Ghana soil so no na about 12 midnight. Is it otra obankran? Is he the person, is it part of the 24-hour?
Yeah, part.
Fantastic.
Oh, part.
So one a kwan so eba no one a be propel 24-hour economy no enye one akọ school enye one air condition office 24-hour economy no form for no so that Guzi should be able to tell us say banche ton for body for no meko and the for no what is the plan for them
and Guzi crown so our experience if you say a sancro for in our constitution.
We no
so obviously
we drinks ewo krum ha
to say me papa angel
nom ne blue one. So you categorize the private sector summit under the 24-hour economy. No one group wo mu da no be some say okay, first of all friend am frame mo no enye 24-hour economy ntina me frame mo challenges ntina mo frame mo kan kire me.
So it will give you a fair idea.
One beba no ho wo pese wuma nipa oye adwuma wo mem no ho tona Kwabena say summit ni 8 o'clock ebebo 7 na ema wo ho ofe enye troka mawo ba men kan so we nkyere Ghana for mpani for no ntia sese oba ne ho ofe ye de dada nyansa ni gini tirim adwen
oba ne ho ofe
ye de dada nyansa ni agini tirim adwen.
How do you determine
anything ma Delilah otumi ma something twitwa ni wi.
So how do you categorize oba ne ho ofe?
Well, we to me no mienu na see ye nne you need me. It's a ma wo ho fe. Enti akasa summit no e ma wo ho fe be 7. Obi at the table ho. Answer na obeba bedru ho no why ready. E me ma no mum na be hia. No beto ma no inside. Boss, company be na free. Okay, patcho chief senka wo ba mo hawa mo wo no. So betimi atra katro mai wontimi ntra patcho wo ka metimi aye ho bibi kakra into that summit no you are there to tell your problems. So behind agronu na 24-hour economy into ya fa wo ton drinks ni nyina wia na ye ho say ebia power a problem wo tuan kane aka e yo haw Kwabena number 2 ebia taxes no ne ade no e wo soro we you see into 24-hour economy must have a tax component ebetimi aboa me private sector no e ma metimi contribute positively into the attention say okay mo am yes adwuma we na mo category A, category B, category C can into then categorize the 24-hour economy no depending on the category that you fall under, then we can say that we'll give you this tax rebate. Into company be a year adwuma we 5 years na ontimi grow ono ontimi so nkwa from waka ha stagnant no sa company na president 24-hour economy for that catch on say mo what this category no the next 3 years ahead of us we income tax and say 10% and you are paying 3.5%. Now sa remaining percentage na aka no men fa nkoto hwe fafa nipa gum
ye twa omuka
na fa sa income tax na anka wo de ma me aban no fa sa income tax no employ nipa 4 faka ho.
But I buy no super catch also best short revenue.
There be on short revenue. And this is the trick. Bipa na buy ne fa na adwuma mu no. Sa sika na we jebu na ye de ama company dey fa worker no. Where can it be to income tax? So indirectly we jo wade.
Through the worker.
Through the worker, you are getting it back. Again, you are getting another 3.5 from here. Then you go to ABA Abosokai. You better then Abosokai. So be the car bar na will be maybe one day. That is where the Ghana Police Service comes in with their 24-hour economy policy. So the police will say that, okay, so buy any percent or include Abosokai, Kumasi Mazin, co company, and then account that. Then Ghana Police Service, this is our 24-hour economy policy. Your policy they say, fit a for a Jubana Juni, every fitting shop there will be a police officer fully armed. Fully armed. 24-hour economy, but I don't know how they are handling these things. Mo bi amfa book nko ho kwabra ye nja book no ye fa fie nyansa nkwade we ho kwabra wo wie wo mo no wie a na waba afei won eton wache won etonton nnuane na ye
bankure tilapia na adwo
kwabra a big business.
Oh yes,
a big business. But when him say no obi akra ye mumu won mo gengina kwa ho wo ye mumu no wo mu suro ade asan ya na akronfo di tu okọ.
Yeah, oh.
What is the 24-hour economy?
You say Momo for the 6:30 now.
Very good. What is the 24-hour economy plan for such people? Who's doing it? Hey, 24-hour economy, the best way affect you, sorry. The best way I'm sorry cry ye. Into sorry 8 hours, but say praha 2 hours. Because cleanliness is next to what? Godliness. And you tell a 24-hour economy, no, you're launching your tongue and it looks like the people do not have a plan. Obi a president. Why are they looking at the president? He's done his job. John Mama we launch it we jema to ho. Now it is up to one 24-hour economy so to sit down and say that this is the way to go. Kwabra, what do you not to nchen radio stations say wo krum ha. TV stations say wo krum ha. Yeah, 24-hour economy for no ma frɛ hwan.
But yeah, no ye ginamu dada.
Yeah, ye ginamu dada wo. Enti busa ho say about the saying that as a magic. Kwabra so realize here. Aje wo mo ye endemu enkomo no.
Yeah.
And who say wo ye wo kasa. Apart from that, from 12 midnight. And you na say so for dey share the link ni wo bi e bom paye. And say anka ye nyum nko a. E ba ne say ade ye na e committee ye di 2 man. The question is no. The structure and the nature of our programming.
Yeah. So
it synchronizes and syncs better with the way we function as broadcasters. So 24-hour economy people must come in and say that, okay, 24-hour economy, I realize here who say, more about 12 o'clock, kusi, ahomache 5 for ne adiana, what the born nyumonkwa. Now, yem pesa mo de born nyumonkwa. Okay, yem fanya day. That time no be an hotel radio. Say here, what's be an hotel radio? Don't forget some mami be ton watch your 12 midnight 1 a.m. Say no kokompe Kumasi Mazin Abosokai. Womu ina say no 24-hour economy nti wo ma bamu dada. Okay, nti say yes start.
So all these departments are functioning.
And they are functioning
in the night.
It is omo bode ro ni dia. Na ye bode ro no bambo so no ye atum Ghana Police Service for the plan abada dada. So the fitting shops are being protected by the Ghana Police Service. Patrol teams strengthened their patrolling into Juma na ikoso. Until radio na ye wasted time no born nyom from midnight econo. It will be converted into advertisement. That can be converted.
And he said, what will be back Ghana? No, that's sorry, I do 1 o'clock. Or take advertisement. Ewa Onya FM, Accra FM, Joy FM, City FM. Say, oh,
that chrono.
You told me, I be waha, and I do benyabi. And I say, yes, say waha, and I say, Samri, a coco for a year, Juma. If you are not a source service in a car, no, to us, Kotabali, and I do
so always this is 24-hour economy. You don't sit down and joke with it. Kwabena, we hear that part now. John Dramani Mahama and Kasano. Emra ba part 1 no na oye kwan asphalt valley no oye na najo
me ya na obi aso we dey as magic ade beti okwada okwan de nye
okay
ade beti
okay
we so no nsia na
fantastic until ono ankasa John Dramani Mahama no we demonstrating before say 24-hour economy no why be dada. And so when it comes to construction SSC one way be ye kwan na najo contractors no kura no wo mo ngai krofo house o mo ha ye ewia because John aye bi dada. It's contractors ni nyina amumra all people who belong to the construction department come. Mo be see school dan no. See, I see school diner najua. How are you going to do it? Because that time then kwadane da. How are you building so that you don't distract and kwadane sleep? So that you are there to me akoi.
Yeah, no the kind requirements. The Emma contract.
But it's no so crane will come in with entertainment na ye jai no. So you bring in Shatawale. Na Shatawale a confansipim or bo show Saturday anado. Or bo show no one and kwadane entertainment na contract ni sidai. Eti kum no one can say a sound system. But that contract and a board so the 24-hour economy no kwabena so we ye bema ho e betimi affect o bema koda wo de dem mo bema timi asori agina so ye but we are just joking with the 24-hour economy and I don't know the kind of people who are handling the 24-hour economy.
You see, and I can maybe what they know yeah or matrato books, you know, maybe different from what we are talking about here.
Kwabena book ndese ma pa ba book ho.
But almost be catch o say omo no ntino makọ ye PhD.
Forget it.
So ntino makọ ye PhD because me sure say John Mahama probi dia manual o probi o kura PhD and in there you born DNA you born credentials. So maybe for all you know what we are talking about maybe we are just playing.
Okay.
Child's play.
I was telling somebody, you know what we can do? We can appoint night mayors. Say a 24-hour economy. So we have night commissioners.
But know that all the pressure about public person so.
There be night mayor no. Onyo be a year three and a kafo frubia. We need to start with governance first. You see, Kwabena? So we have a night mayor. Night mayor no bet my why. This is the assemblies ni na no. Your various assembly members. Yeah, roster ma assembly member because the assembly members in the Mama so be omka. So if the state is paying you, why are you not working? Fantastic. So we appoint night mayors. Enti ebia oko Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly ya. Ebia Ahensai assemblyman this month when our night mayor. Oko ebia ofa Krofroma assemblyman this month when our night mayor. It's a night mayor, no? What are you doing? You are roaming round, checking. Your mouth security, what can patrol team no? No more call rounds. Into Washaha as a night mayor under the 24-hour economy, night commissioner under the 24-hour economy. So you are making notes for Zuba. So the next morning, the first person Zuba will call is that night mayor. Why is the 24-hour people?
At least, sir. Look, who said there, and can you anywhere a hosity? At least you say, hey, it is how quite winner said daytime microphone names to say, because when him say, Adia sa, Necromia dia, and not me assessing routes.
Exactly. So there's a night mayor. Night mayor, and yes, I appointed for France, I'm the assembly members, I to the swabber, assemblyman, I appointed back home. What are we a night mayor? When we are done with that, we need to do safety by design. We cannot just sit down and say that we are doing the 24-hour economy without safety by design. The safety must be intentional. We got to do it intentional. Invest in lighting, viable but community-oriented stewardship, targeted policy and policing. So the night mayor now, no, okutane pen in the paper and run a light we are so hana dri. Adiachi and no light no and soy. So it will even inform policymakers in the various districts, regions, municipal and metropolitan assemblies to know where the problems are and fix them. We are no, as I say, a worker-centered policy for the 24-hour economy. Kwabena, me no me no ayete we. Me say as me pon 12 o'clock we. Na doma baba be gu achi. Te say dey be gu achi. Wo hwe mo we oyɛ dem bio.
Awuchi.
Why? It is a way my born kura na me go school my born me to class 4 for there.
I see.
Me to class 4.
What?
Ghana journalist GIG Ghana Institute of Journalism yes we. Ha. Say ya now so conference for share broadcasting o do say na broadcasters. Confirm brother na microphone mo. That we say bro for news not show classroom na be kan ha. Wa keka funu no ko. Ye ntimi nko ho. as visiting lecturers. So the 24-hour economy, worker centered. We got to do that one. And me tie Jomama Dean and who said no. Papa Nyan said that.
I think recently, Gusitano Beka said a very difficult policy, if I'm right. I'm so Obeka, right?
And me papa no. It is the most easiest thing. You see, Uma obi appointment to Africa now Chensika. 24-hour economy no. As I said, brain a draining Ansah neba table no so first as a sikanaba.
Good morning.
Ansah a sikanaba.
Yeah.
24-hour economy no. It requires a draining nimdiani Ansah ne di kind of table no so. We can be place based, location based, and yeah, baby, and you bet me 24/7.
Oh, of course.
What I say,
of course.
And yeah, baby, and you bet me 24-hour economy ni bio because uko go mo techimaya. About 10 o'clock, I could be chamada. Kwabena by the way, what about when ko why you ding? Enti go mo techimaya. Yen to be 24-hour economy wo. Uko edumfa 24-hour economy. We ye wo enye. So we need to select every district. And here you bet by a street market.
Very important.
When street market and we here buying sika, it is just gong.
Now say in Sawamu say MC. Me will say anajo. Now on a market no more amount for ton near my bed 1 a.m.
Exactly.
Also.
And who identify zones with potentials and tailored interventions. And number one, ya come Kesim. You want some Kesim for Budija Wednesdays and Saturdays. And Tuesdays, for now, as a more couple. Ewo chromancy number 1, chromancy number 2, chromancy number 3, woman ko. Eja number 1, eja number 2, eja number 3, woman couple. Anumabon ko biruan ko. E promusa kusi axim. And every Tuesday, every fisherman is rendered jobless.
Economy no low.
Yes, every Tuesday. Apofon couple
and across they say
very good. And it's a 24-hour economy penny awodanoa. You must know how the economy of this country run. Say Tuesdays no wa. Ye papa no apofon wo pona no hori nyina Tuesday bi an wo nya dwuma. That is why I keep saying say if you know you will not go for fishing on Tuesday, don't eat all your fish on Monday.
Ade.
And I said Tuesday won't couple.
Why Tuesday? We're talking about
Tuesday. As I said, 24-hour economy.
Friday time, why?
I said 24-hour economy for no identify these areas. These areas, baby, won't bet me a street market. Tuesday na apofono. Went to me and compunti. Sabe. No watching what I say, onya shenye no. O bet me crowd in the yirachi at an namana kodum.
But okay, with all this, the question we need to ask is Argentina Bepimin Gusitano office no to be engaged.
Kwabena, I dream a few Muhammad to talk for me. A switch and one so Madam catch it. A switch
which I disagree.
Oh, there be a son. Kwabena,
which I disagree.
Jay could focus for zero tolerance of corruption by. I didn't so change Nippon or cast some nature warning to win to me and fight corruption. But now the cover one district one factory by. I didn't get a finity to talk for me. Never so change on no moon, never so change Nippon and Castle catcher on to almost to me and your home. Look, sad 24-hour economy, I didn't know as soon. And you'll be a when you need. And a bit me aye. And then you'll be a no bit me aye. Dear Otiasie, Enimasie, a quasie, basie, a best to quote me who I was so maybe pretty good, not careful for room on a bit me aye. So you can be Guzitano, you can be whoever, you can do it. You can do it. 24-hour economy, I did that one. Kwabena, me da Mahama de bo say boom na me say rade Yesu. Ya da se. Agrona kwesi. But unfortunately, say Kurano, bisa woman can say 24-hour economy phone say data be no ma collect.
I don't think so.
Bisa also ma collected data.
But Mami Musa, editor, Emmanuel, editor, what taking interest in this 24-hour economy issue? How?
In fact, you see,
because if you break down Captain Smart today, obviously the media, I think we haven't taken enough time.
Me know actually. Na media for you. Ya odi omu eba Kwabena. The media for Ghana has seen. Obi o hono mo 24-hour economy document no kra no a opani guzitando no office at the buy no on fire kra no wakan.
Now what can we?
Makan bi. Se si a me be ya na me hwa de o Facebook. Obi di abeto won mu se okọ Omaru Sanda.
Yeah.
O se ye no Omaru Sanda.
Yeah.
Also okọ Adenta DVL anatu 9. Eko ye ni friend say licensing nasi for when boy 11 near 7.
Okay.
I'm telling you. A chese a B baby honoma a starting year juma. Baby honoma and starting year juma.
Let me try no kakra.
Oh yeah. We having a conversation.
DVLA Air Champion 24-hour economy. Ebepim.
Oh, how?
Okay. Fantastic question. How many people never register on cars in a year? How many people and never renew one license in a year? If you check the statistics of cars in this country, cars we have in this country are less than 2 million. Hold on. Are less than 2 million. So DVL they are all year no. A year I will kind be so. But 24-hour economy bet me ma
but Captain, and then obi license I wouldn't know or quite renew no be so quite license
you are talking about a well-structured thing.
Yes, I agree with you.
But we are looking at the person from Tumu.
Oh, that means you said there Agenta, yeah, and your headquarters. Yeah, me say zona or district office. Et me aye bi no. Me assure say now it is being decentralized. Say Tumu, not Tumu a zone, and now Tumu a district. Say the course wa Agenta ultimi ko ha anaju.
Okay, so Captain, if you didn't to the Captain Ekano, that I say I don't know. Omodi ba for my Ghana police Ghana because it's Tumu the year working. Indeed, baby to say Adenta would be for Adenta security to Tumu.
Oh, me no ya agree.
So if you say you implement it with Tumu, which means then the Ghana police must give us a blueprint on 24-hour economy and how they will implement it over the northern part of Ghana. And yeah, you know, Uncle
I'm not to say me assure say if the 24-hour economy program or policy no. It take full shape na afi starting year juma. It will affect all sectors.
Okay, so you think say you take full shape?
Me feel say now a graduate.
Okay.
Tell me who no. Baby I started year juma.
Okay.
Ma who support no me na si for no so.
Yeah, port is so.
I started. DVL so me who say if you person it take shape and I bedu time e take shape no. Now the police service who will be supposed to giving your friends the security for no. Me assure say almost so by this time they are planning how
when the captain will problem by this time
I'm sure come now
am I 24
DVL anajo no DVL anajo no security wo ho
senior asana make a wunya ntiase. Let's not reduce the 24-hour economy to formalize the institutions. As we are not getting the drift. The 24-hour economy is a total, fully blown human being.
Yes.
And yet, fingers. And here come wasem. We are talking about the head, the eyes, the nose, the ears, the mouth, the teeth, the tongue, neck, everything playing its recognized role. Now, Madiana, you're comprehensive and whole.
Yes.
This is what we're saying.
Yes.
And DVLA, na 24-hour economy nti na say so yes idea way. What it means is that they could have done it already.
So what happens is that
Temaport. Oh dear, yo, wadum. Because you cast now, go back no. 8 p.m. no buy. That's not Mohammed President.
But no, my
So what it means is that
me akran mayika me yino anajoda.
Fantastic.
But me aye wo dwuma gu oda da anajono to me ko yino me ko di live no. And anajono to me. But me aye ho purpose in
anajono
na me yifi.
It's no SAP departments and agencies they could have done it years back.
Of course.
And o manye. It's in way 24-hour economy. Me, I'm looking at it in a way it can affect more than half of the population of this country in 2 years. This is what I'm saying. And as we are joking with it, and I think that Mr. Guzita Nomas up his game. Kakrebi Yesreno. Any obuoni ni die kwanso. Kwabena hwe. When we Accra provisions. Eba Ghana. Yetikrum how. Na Yekra tinapa. Yekra sardine. Yekra corned beef.
It's bad, eh? Too bad.
Sane mani na Yekra we never do a system no more na what happens to economy.
Too bad.
The 24-hour economy, no, the major thing a woman, Emma Muhammad Dubai say, it will reduce unemployment,
yes,
and reduce our imports,
yes,
and increase our exports. Because the very material moment you import 1 shipload of sugar, you have imported 1 shipload of unemployment.
Thank you.
Okay, so first thing that we got to do, when we are 24-hour economy, they need to have a public realm, culture and programming. Say the culture is that me ko DVLA me ko akwaje me license. We know the processes. And the DVLA are extended time, no. So DVLA, yes, you can see it under the 24-hour economy, but it's just an extension of time. DVLA.
No, but it applies to
Debbie. Hold on. It's an extension of time because the radio stations are here.
Yes.
Yeah, 24-hour dada.
Of course.
Yes.
So how can we feel 24 hours economy?
No.
Tell me.
So I'm coming. You bet you radio station ya wa. Pamela. Ya namwana ya bia by whatever circumstance. We were not able to monitor our electricity, a bit issue prepaid. Yantimi anhwe. Yeah, beko akohwe na ye gensen to be a diesel just a scenario.
Yes.
And I don't know quickly na say was here control light ya. Ya beko na say ECG. Your friends say vendors were one more.
But now you can buy it online.
Of course, that one is there, but a bit so tough physical.
Yes, it's true.
So those physical, those who buy physically, also Ghana has it, and you'll be and an idiot online.
Ansah na beba na Crawford the momo top prepaid that.
Me say and you'll be
and then Crawford the top that.
And you'll be.
So what I'm saying is that, Chief,
and you'll be and need me
the political language the quadi way because this is the only policy. Apart from one district, one factory, is so nationalistic. Adia, a fa obia or war mining mubi. It is a ye fast sope. Near the core one, we will crash the 24-hour economy. Kwabena. 24-hour economy no ho. Say, ye papa guzitano no. Umutimit nasi yi. Makai womu document no. Brofo.
The brofo natural.
Brofo.
But the content.
Brofo.
But the content.
Brofo.
Obviously, Vivian Opon's room wasn't built in a day. Gradually, we shall get there. Francis also, Tony. Oh, let me. Charlie, when you say Francis also, Tony, allow the medium. Colabania, my baby, I saw Muhammad, you say. Abai. Oh, be sending me message. We na after them pia cry and call. We ya sem. Oh, okay. Anyway, so baby no I almost sending the same, but because now I say, finance minister Beka say 24-hour economy no, it be really out fully in 2026.
Thank you.
And Kwabena. And the document non prepare to normally.
Well, maybe the document is giving us a fair idea.
Sit down, we have the fair idea.
But I'll go with a captain argument.
Document, nowhere in the document it says it is going to be your start here in the wholesale.
Wholesale.
In the document. Because a policy, and every policy, when you start, it has to be implemented gradually before it gets to. So if the finance minister has given us 2026, it means that he is the finance minister.
Okay.
This policy, it has to be supported, with funding. So finance minister, according to
that is where Captain Ewo problem.
I don't want you to talk about money, Charlie.
But you have to fund it.
No. I don't know how. I see a baby and I sika.
I understand you. It's a policy. This is a policy.
No.
That needs to be funded.
No.
It's not a policy that can be self-funded.
No. Oh yes, sir. You create avenue for people to still at the early stages. Number one, me say 24-hour economy, Kwabena.
Okay.
And the single largest policy. It can take care of the whole of Africa.
Great, that one. I mean,
understand it.
Question is 0 to 3rd month. No, net 24-hour economy. No, be what are the measures? Monitoring and evaluation. Be and then on be what will be the dashboard? What will be on the dashboard? Are they going to write? What is there? We did this. We were not able to do this. We were able to achieve this. We were able to do. So we're rolling this to this. So we should have timelines. We should not just sit down and say that DVM.
So don't you think, say, my fair idea that the 24-hour economy office must take steps to engage the media.
Of course.
They should engage the media.
Not only the media.
Let's talk about it. Then, which means not only the media. Captain, they can't want to say.
No. For that
get
one,
time.
I agree with you.
Invite various. Business actors.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Categories of business actors. Get them. Talk to them. Right. Understand their challenges. Let people bring in their proposals.
Yes.
Because they say NDC Ebetuaba. John Mama Kron so could you how? Finance minister also call market so could you how not their
his flagship policy, which is 24-hour economy, was part of the how no TAN.
Yes.
You see? But to me there, it is good.
And a Captain Emmanuel extension. So to extend it, then engage the business community actors.
Of course. In the yard.
If we are rolling in 2026, sir, which month in 2026?
Then the minister did it.
Fantastic. So that's what I'm saying, that by now, he himself 0 to 3rd month
of 2026.
Then 2026, President Biya no Kasape Ayasem.
Of course.
And today, I swear John Dramani Mahama in inaugural speech about 24-hour economy so pepepe. Esesenka obia na woni tim so bedi minister. Obia opre so bedi DC. Obia opre class so be CEO obia no or plan.
So wo tim so bedi minister na nche so obenya di.
Debi na someone go.
Anya wo plan.
No. We are the person so wo kwa.
Anya wo tim plan na president be adwuma.
And what tim so when minister you should have your plan in line with the 24-hour economy. I can authoritatively tell you we want to operate so when ministers will be more than 80% in yai.
Oh yeah.
But no mutim want na president be
adwuma. No, what he's saying is even thinking that you must have that plan. Say, say the mamia. Me person me ye bibi to feed president.
Exactly. And
president anymore. It is the me energy minister. Me want me 24-hour plan that me
exactly
plug it in
because 24-hour economy no and then daytime assembly you can night time because in this world a city that sleeps while its people are awake waste potential.
Of course.
You waste the potential from the people. 24-hour economy no must look at avenues, areas now. Number one, Tuesdays. Let me catch you, Kwabena. Young couple Ghana. Afar couple Tuesday. It's a 24-hour economy. The plan for Afar on Tuesdays here day.
Okay. So now, then we need to go and find out. Then you know, Tuesday young couple.
Tie. Tuesday. It's a war as DC ya 24-hour economy manager or whatever. What's your plan for the Tuesday?
And Monday no more koposa go is Adebachi.
And that's how they check Tuesday now.
And I said you not they want me uncle Tuesday and Monday. They said they want me uncle Tuesday and one on Monday.
They don't
and Monday Tuesday is just one day.
Baby Tuesday young couple.
And I'm saying one day.
It's what's the plan for a Punano Hono 24-hour economy plan here day? This is my question. Okay. By now we've start creating street markets. Me say me Accra100.5FM. One day we be block 2 streets. Yaba Ghana Police Service in the drive traffic.
Yeah, the Tony man.
Because the yemba na walk criminal. Market I walk criminal and so. Yen kanu kure. A man market in so.
And your man name more the market as in space.
And my person will did your crumha or brought 10 million.
But only can de.
And I make it was a market so I can't any ho. It's by now your street night markets and your street is so. And started 7 a.m. to 6 a.m. 7 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Listen, no call a pass.
Oh, the be only just structured. I am talking about the 24-hour economy thing. It's your blocking. I did be a person who turn on police for whom national security for whom from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. and about 5K. And we say you bet my man is beautiful. Kwabena first lady. First lady. On a beba doma. I told the first idea. For when you capture this image, I don't know say be attractive.
A be friend man.
Now, yeah, mami Lodina. I share the jeans.
With the vice president.
And Lodi with the vice president. Na ebia force egu first lady na ha no kuta adoma ye bie ebia Makola street market night market original 18 no abom brain na yemfa ne say Zuba Fikumase no dimrika no akojia first lady in chemfa force in metal now ato I mean it's just for the fun of it now I know
so within 3 minutes
beer market na no first lady the top force wo
the first yakura yetena say na ye di san komo yi a yadwene kura NCP ye na yadwene enye pe ewo policy no che say ehia say ye niema bebre
more engagement
and engagement na apart from business people nipa no a ono so be kwa akoto ade na free business one mo so they also have to be engaged. Come on, say it shouldn't be such engagement any kwan say money tete so say akofo ma be good them business no. Let's go to the grounds where the businesses, where the patrons are.
Obia send me message be very interesting. I'll say more work needs to be done to improve planning.
Exactly.
And infrastructure for the 24-hour economy. That is why we need district plan proposals which will contain protections for existing nighttime venues like Oxford Streets, London Victoria, and others that are very good initiatives. So yes, because baby say none can be cancel me. Say Accra, Udru a year it Bobie 12 to 1. Dear, I'm telling you. Say boys, yeah, that by 5 a.m. Me also me night mover. Now, who moving us here now for now? Who to our boss will be able to park in the car? Hey, meaning what though? Meaning the one to me now.
No, what I didn't say.
And you go find me now, you know, Dawson.
It's a night market in a year, Juma.
Yes.
It's a yama, minimum crana, or more bread drawing the day, no, we are shilling any idea. No, may him say, may you call night market. When himself, we call night market. Police were all readily available, security,
yes.
Intact. First lady, Biano, Vice President Oba, Wato, Adia would do more. No, but Vice President Obi bet me agent in Yama. But na kono say, Yehuya Mami or Noa Edija, our night market just to attract, to see that.
Ramadan in Kumasi, the cheapest place to buy, say, fruits near that, a PZ and Roman Hill, our night market.
Fantastic. So this night market, what I'm saying is that it must be structured.
I'm not say Accra100.5FM. A man on Tadia be once and no one says 1 city, 2 city, night market.
But they are structured.
any structure.
So the 24-hour economy for the by now, no. Yeah, in 2026.
It was
Maybe Christmas year 24-hour economy for the mayor who said one more drink. No.
It was
It's a night market, no. A structured 24-hour economy street market. Yes, I say all pass that. Police for Jinaha. Even we can now me catch Papa be say.
So somebody is asking us, say, I didn't know buying to me only shops to say GNTC Titino, Abeya Jumanajo, whereby they can structure it and fuse it with the private sector.
Surprise you.
That is force for
Me surprise you.
Tell me.
That is Mohammed's idea. When I make catch us say, I dream if Muhammad no, a switch and one so no.
Okay.
He one say, or Kakasabi, but as a Ghana for no. Yours are. I say before the end of my term, government will own Ghana. Ghana for anti-sabro of no kind of thing. What yantias
because government only Ghana there, not to say Ghana for no.
Ghana for the area.
Ghana for no idea.
Enti SSA 24-hour economy for the by now me no pilot project to be started that.
And I'm say I was say and you can say at tesro. Because on Kwame Kwabena Ghana for ebema atimia patronize all the activities within the 24-hour economy. Omo tesro.
This topic is getting interesting and interesting. Sorry, Mincho, I will be say the mayor of London is actively championing night street market.
I'm telling you.
I think it is.
Akukuda says, Captain, we totally agree with you, but we need more police on the street.
That's security.
Kwabena, Yama IGP in TSS, we need a new department of the Ghana Police Service.
That would be in charge of.
Then this one, let me just pick on this one. Tay Father says, I agree with Captain because some communities and companies I know in Tema and other places have already started a 24-hour economy, like the textile industries.
That's right.
Yes. We can engage them to know how they are rolling out their 24-hour economy. I grew up in Akosomo Enclave, where the textile companies around employed lots of people, and they were running 3 shifts then. It is done to boost productivity and employment.
Ghana Police Service and currency police unit. Bobie and Fana Junko, Ubetman say currency, ni sika currency. Ubetman say energy currency. But we should have the currency police as part of the 24-hour economy. Tete Yohunu can just appoint about 500 or 300 police officers. These are the currency police unit of the Ghana Police Service to support the 24-hour economy.
Great.
What are they going to do? They make sure that all the night markets, the currency of energy, it's well structured and protected. Say La Paz street market here that the year you say you know what's La Paz I say? Where everything happen at every time.
That's the meaning.
Okay. Well, that's now.
We didn't need any free possible.
La Paz na e wo ho no. Ya structured. It's your night mayor.
Yes.
So this you know all that no kura no ono anka ntimi nhwe so a medical catch you say yeah appointing assembly members na by the mo kan.
You're right.
No one hwe so.
This week when we hear night mayor, the following week when we hear night mayor, that week when we hear night mayor. Na currency police unit no wo so e wo hobby. Fe nkane na bu. Say one street light na nya papa yen rent light.
Emphasis wo.
Na yen catch say wo free Kumasi Kekos na wo ba. Say no yeah ma wo me from main La Paz street no so. Fa chire ho.
Yeah.
From 7 p.m.
Say nya dia wo bedi dwa.
Yeah ma wo ma.
Aha, umfa ho no bi.
Eti na ya pe buses. Esi Malam Junction.
Like shuttles.
Yes. Into Malam Junction bus no wo ho. Bus 1 ebi ebe 7:30. Bus 2 8 o'clock. Bus 3 8:15. Bus 4 this time. Bus 9 this time. Eti wudu ho anu esiu no wada na ho okọ.
Around another employment I create. I just said buses since metro marsha. Ya sa for drivers ya. Almost be 90. I say increase employment, revenue.
Bus 1 na do fi Malam eba La Paz night market one. There's a bus 3. Also, Edo Edu Mudia, Omo Kono for cars. Currency police for no kind show car. Said about your chromophobia to be in coho.
Yeah.
What I say, well structured. Eti Ebia Kumase night market no. Yeah, no Joadana Joe 7 to 5. But watch this. So we because a fee no one that now watch this. Yeah, where dustbins. The spaces are properly demarcated and allocated. You cannot allocate without demarcation, and you cannot demarcate without allocation. So it is properly demarcated and properly allocated. It's here say water. So every 10 demarcated areas, there's an allocated dustbin. Japan for clean your space. You clean, you dump it there. You clean, you dump it there. And see, at the other about 6 a.m. 6 o'clock you do so. But
then again, you also there who can now boil my sanitation company.
Thank you.
24-hour column. Oh yeah.
By getting it, no, people say, okay, dumping site. Dumping site.
Dumping site, man.
I want to see a creative compost plant.
Yes.
Kwabena, yeah, what to more yet?
Yes, only see a creative compost plant. Yeah, but I'm really a being trouble. Quick one. Zen says that is true about the buses. It's just like Germany. Okay, so I don't know what German on here can say. Frank Trinity's talk is cheap, but implementation is difficult.
No, talk is not cheap. Yeah.
Vivian Upon says, even in America, we pay for buses. Okay, so let me move on. Now, Cycle Forces Commander, the 24-hour economy is a global influx of global trade and engagement. For instance, identifying the global time differences between Ghana and the rest of the world and implementing trade lines according to our trade preferences. Okay, so this one is coming from Nana Jiman. Vivian says they have to pay for the buses though. Paul Adam says I'm enjoying the night market conversation. Okay, so Johnson Mr. says JM should appoint Captain Smart to be part of the 24-hour team. Simple. New York guy says, I wish Mr. President is listening to your program. All right, thank you, Eric. Twine says, Commander, I hope that the 24-hour economy team should invite Captain Smart and the other gentleman, okay, my editor, to join them, because they are making very solid, important points. Okay, so thank you. Frank Trinity says 24-hour economy will be difficult for Mahama to implement. Those in charge said we need $4 billion. Where are we going to get the $4 billion? Okay, so this one is coming from Frank Trinity. Johnson Amisa says, I will plead with JM to appoint Captain Smart for this 24-hour thing. All right, so Mami Osa says, if you said this about Rebecca, okay, let me leave this one. I'll save you. Solomon says, you guys are doing well. I love your discussions this afternoon. Thank you so much. We have Zen again. Commander, in Germany, during Christmas seasons, they have a night market. They only come at night from November ending to December ending. And every city in Germany does it. Kwasi Boateng says, come to Asia. 11 shops are all nationwide. State-owned. State can put these up and own it in Ghana, just to plug it into the private sector. Okay, so Adiko says, Bobie, I love the discussions going on. I run a 24-hour pharmacy. You'll be surprised the sales we make in a night. Imagine we don't work in the night. Obviously, we would have lost all those monies. Talk louder. Make it rich. Jubilee House. Michael Adiko from Tema Committee 10. Thank you so much, my brother. We have other testers in here, and it's getting more and more interesting. Frederick says you guys are really doing a good job by educating the populace. Hopefully the 24-hour economy will work. All right, so Michael sent more entrepreneurs will be on board. So Bobie pushes our agenda away. Dr. Ren says insightful conversation, a very nice one there. Ebenezer says 24 hours economy can also reduce prostitution. Cut them bulls.
Let me finish with the bus thing I was talking about.
Yes, just finish with it. We have other issues to talk about.
Yeah. Baby, bus na do beba besi. Obefa bus na beba besi a obeba dwan mu no. Enja ho na obefa akọ.
Debbie.
So we have your in and your exit.
Yes.
Bus point.
Yes.
It is a wofa free malam eba. Wo kwa wonfa malam nko. Bus no be for the tail end.
Yes.
Because one eba mu no the bus is na mpempem. Eti bus no kura no say ABS bus and 10 cities because of the 24-hour economy and the night market. We are saying men G10, G5.
It's subsidized.
Why? Because to make sure that a lot of people will come. Even the window shoppers no kura here because where I buy policy at the crowd in a niska. I buy policy the crowd in a
Obi Ohonomo at that moment Obafro Bass number. On the radio.
Which way one am chroma sika show ho. Na ade bi ho a here. No one say wakoto obedu feda will be the ho. Window shopping, impulse buying, window shopping so fast wo back no. It's a night market no ho a. Wo fa ha rem, wo fa happy, wo fa happy rem, wo fa happy. Na ya de no structured ye. Enti yenim say Ghana ha de. Ye wo ebia ye pilot project. Enti ye wo be 20 streets. Aye, you close to every Monday. Yeah, night market. Kwabena eno kura no be boy ma fe ye be hu na fe anya Monday bi mu. Me the Wednesday account, the Friday account. Say the be ye ma me no na te kwan ho ye omo abaye. No mu dwane no. Onim se me nkoya abaye.
Eh dey anadwo
na street na no anadwo na.
Ebema congestion kura in a yes because obi wo hono because o de kura me nkodum edu anadwo a na me
go to anadwo a I didn't say better for me pamina mitimika.
I think it's a comprehensive idea.
So these are the things that make me feel so as a so mo ye am a form for no sum.
Thank you.
Say form for no sum.
Thank you.
Hey, kwara catch am say DV.
Untie dey obi asene me. I miss trade fair.
You see? Come on, you see these things. So meet me there. Meet me there. Yeah, sir. We do my dream back when me say 24-hour economy for no year. Apart from the night mayors, no. They should try to build the first agric mall in the world.
As
SSA agric mall. The first of its kind in this world, in this country. Ghana in ye. As part of the revenue 24-hour economy be generating no yefemu bi emfancy agric mall for the first time we be kono na board the glass.
Thank you Kwabena.
Meba we be kono na kontomire at the glass. We be kono na mankani ye de koya akaw wo fie na the glass. We should build the first agric mall in this
owned
world.
by the state.
Owned by the state.
Onon be amount and
Bobie so.
That's me are walking. And ka ye nya se Asante Achim North MP and na Esufre president say tomatoes egu ho no na say and ya do egu ho say say etimi nya me fi say honorable Erikopuku omo na ni nkosa do we hu na onfa oni 24-hour economy for
because unim ma me so me fa bi nka ho kakra me ntwa no hwe say koduru bia bia fe de na former agric minister akoto ono akọfa body and be ministry
no
any say ye wo eye agric mall no a ye family no buy no ya no no international community admin ka say ye nto mo nto aye fa ho ye dey egu ye ya mo ne
ana no enema no a tise tomatoes no na se for perishable no any the seasonal no because ye more the beti e dey begum no we find a way to preserve them at the time bia no all year round obekon tomatoes na yasi ebedu time na Ghana dia sadise ye work Burkina dia no yetimi preserving in such a way that ukwa na that so ye fresh in more contomre ye fresh in your door ye fresh it is a seasonal adeno seasonal products no ebedu time bi season bedu as in where dry season tie ni hono no something na betwam. I think it's a fantastic idea.
Okay, Kwabena. Yeah. Yeah, Greek mall na. Kuyayo emeye punishment bi.
And creative business.
And I have this policy. I'll roll it out to the agric minister. Okay? Agriculture is a punishment in Africa.
Of course.
Wofa agric magazine bia wa Africa dey na hu.
Echedo say there is an agric mall in Dubai.
Okay, fine. I don't know. Say agric mall na. And now for agric magazine bia book bia wa Africa talking about agriculture. Tabenda na hu abaya wa makeup na so da no kon ho da e da chire. aberwa bi ne akokoro bi omo te ba bi asabe
ne omo na ase fi
bi ne ye do to
chire so idea in some phone
fantastic. So the signal we are sending to the person now odidi ni say nipa na oye kwia no and obi a oye hia no obi an ho aye fi. But when you have an agric mall,
university ladies and
top body top banche suya de ni ye kona nim.
Yeah.
And then what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What is the 24-hour economy people talking about money?
And it's a me pon say me radio work. So let me tell you something. Me pe broccoli pa.
Yes.
Me ton no edi e ofie. Me pon 6 o'clock a me drive say me call police mo akoto no ma pon. It is say your agric more.
Na I was
radio 637. I can just drive in there, buy whatever I want. In the other panel, we have to car akọ palace and baby. To be the a your office, be a tenor. Me woman near my fear that yeah, make a car boom na my name na me chrono. Anyway, very interesting one members. Mum so kakra. Na me pacho mumia ni be galamse ne dia ko wi gabi o chasa dalko. You will join us, Solo will join us within the next 10 minutes. But akwasi odese ba e wa say akwasi commander kaje gumame
ye guso a na ne citizen show no say ye ni nyina no ensuo no so agugu aye ka say obu onom a wo hyedem a ne ho po sesesese mesrew ya no apanyin bu se ba me hya ne bia no mama me de bia na ye ka kire say imu se ba me hya no won twen se obe ya de ansan no wanom imbusu no ene ye se wo ya de se wo nya de abusua ni nyina ye modu amo chafa no no mesrew wo di si center table no so no pa no wanom bia wia no wanom bi wo na wo sene imbus heba me hya pozine dru e ba kopɛ okɔ pharmacy shops e ba shops na wonsa ebeka bi 0246 208496 ana 0540710113 na uni imbusufo ahwe e de abomu opa besia bills microcredit ho.
Thank all of you for honoring us with your presence at this first dialogue on illegal mining. We know that the issues of illegal mining are dear to your hearts and to the hearts of every Ghanaian. And that's why we decided that from time to time we'll hold this dialogue. This is not going to be the last. We'll hold this dialogue.
Bills, terms and conditions apply. Frey. Now, ono omon komo 0596 920833 and 0302 200390. Now only bills for ashe edi abomu amame momo no mensaka promo eguso koso na say numbers there say bronika numbers doesn't lie enti ibe say nipa 1000 ne chire ya week mu one mo saka still mensaka promo sika ni bi no enya senketwa na we no from 100 Ghana cedis kopim ni 200 Ghana cedis e-cash afa brand new yellow base routers enom ne ade ya ni nyina mu ne bobo no weekly no wunya sikapudo e de ahye obotomu e ba chaw say MTN eswa ye de ye momo koso data bundle koso bibi akoso tifa mo MTN na niema enkoyie emfa ema wo 2074 mesha no eno me ka kire obi se wo na se madedia no akoso abu anara no was atetew we na prostrate wo de ne liver infection woni mo bi kro HIV ya de ni bia mesrew amman tama no 2074 ni bi nom e betumi aboa pa mene no asoso ne so ma de bia ne ho ayefe typhoid titi will be wobu onuma ne de ne hepatitis B afei so se bia wo ba ba bia otu nkosu agunu ya ne nsu abegina mu eno no doctor friend say ovarian cyst ni na yo how no 2074 ni bi na entumi emwa wo mesra wo ko cash ni ba bia to no no a wo sabeka dre bi 0246 073498 0246 073498 and 0501 628931 2074 first herbal medicine you register here South Africa na they say otomo na wudi a nyese wudi mo ho akeke nya mutuo ne ne wo de ba ye wa che ne ade no se ni Gini rice fa mo ye hu se ye tomu a ye no a ye die nyina no ye se kra tumi nya achede e de ka ho na Gini rice for de won akofa de abanie one more just say auto on 4.2 kg bag of Gini rice ni bia me so de tie ni ya na card bi shem you card and then scratch it. When you scratch a pair, 1 year, you stand a chance of winning smart TV, gas cooker, washing machine, fridge, and then kick and one who do it. Yeah, you real crab be outside like I am at say, no could Dubai. We pay. There he be now pay. Fly Dubai with Ginny, spreading smiles, terms and conditions apply. FD4, Adja Tumuse, a year papa. Now, ya the Makot surgicals, Patrol where the assassin surgery ye. Ya twice assassin na Chesenia Oba, a ye Kumase, a nomini ad important moi, a year tonsassin when yasenke to Accra. Size beer wope, you will be ya day Emma war. Nani Mimpese Casa never went to Mr. Fanambano, na fre, Nabusa say, Ote was citizen show, so see a bonsase papa Hoderu. Now so kwaje wasase 0244 314310 0244 314310 and 0549 436442. Now only one more ashe ede abomu kwame na aka ye bakama oh yakoba na chese de aka nyina no etumi ato aso kama pa na we ne de na chese was a value proposition of the Senate scheme. No, it's not for one assembly again. Now, the Omo Kenya and Sam Patrol, and how that channel. Now, what that channel so by a fenaya, ni can quandia, and ye found who to Senate for one scheme in the swamp. Now, Senate pay a guarantee we know a bushia. Now, in no, the ban say, wakon kokra boom, now we am webi dear frino, one more diama war, and will be another. And first, coming now, we go, Ronomia, dear Mr. Ya pebi to one more. Now, that's just empty. Doko to Kodua, now we jam home. Commander General Kwabena Bobie Ansah. Citizen, you go to Kwanyaso. Yeah, de Emma, Commander, over to you.
All right, Odishaba, that's Ibri, Yibia, Obesiaba, live on Accra100.5 Citizen Show, and Iguso, you cremud and den. Ewo, Hase, and Komono. I had the Nkomono I kama na mpamcho mama ya yanko to aso we you know you better for just 5 minutes na yako editor na Felix Ofosuku achide bi begu honorable Felix Ofosuku achide ne ma bi begu ni Facebook ya nyina ya hwebi but yenua a friend is saying Charles McCarthy, her point of law, or say it is for national security to keep the president informed at all times, and I think he's referring to a year first in command deal with the grassroots and the MCs and the DCs and all that. So, and I think he has a point. He has a point, but he also know yes, you said it. So let me pick this updates on NIMO's anti-galamsey operations in Western Region, and we are reading from Honorable Felix Kwachu Fosu page. And we will spend just about 15 minutes on this matter. And now, updates on NIMO's anti-galamsey operations in Western. Okay, so Asiaba. Now, the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat Task Force has carried out a significant operation in the Western region targeting notorious galamsey hideouts on Monday. That was yesterday, October 5th, 2025. The task force stormed Gangway, a crime-infested community in Abosso, Pristia Huni Valley District. Key highlights: makeshift structures destroyed. Several makeshift structures serving as hideouts and drug bases were set ablaze, and galamsey equipment was destroyed. Hundreds surrounded. These individuals were involved in various social vices, including illegal mining, trading, and narcotics smoking, as well as gambling. Drugs seized. In additional operations, while en route to Gangway, the NIMO's task force conducted anti-galamsey operations in the Dajin Dompim areas of the Takwa Insoya municipality. These operations resulted in seizure of equipment, 15 water pumping machines and 1 generator were seized. So it goes on and on and on and on. Quick one, dear. It seems, editor. It seems now by intensify, and Tokano on galamsey. Since last week, you can see some sort of sense of urgency. Yeah, one more attacking areas galamsey for no, and it seems this NIMO's for no. they are working more than the Operation Vanguard. For your thoughts, quick one.
I'm said that 9 months no, well coordinated. A chain Operation Vanguard. Operation Vanguard na si for being a betray mukoye no. Na obia yene de anko obia kwa because Kwabena say be yen some trouble. Near tinsem ni bebre. Me minim obia no e minor. Or no or small scale miner, but Sani Panuano, where madam. Na almost a nene crophobia galamse nubi. Na menene namsa na Operation Vanguard for Ibi. Or more back operation. Metis about one friend. A catcher Crofos watching a beba honmo. Na Sebusia by a befro. But your phones in there say you're hacking. Your phones in there say no or more a monitor pa. Et beya pe yam bi tona ka register chip bi na ka faba bus na fa brain nipa nam nim na nam Accra ha na bus in family okumase na sebe ya ye betimi adi nkomo ho so enti na Operation Vanguard no those involved including the security na involved no omo kra ne omo ye adwuma no omo ye galamsey na ni illegal mining no no omo adwuma hyehyɛ enti omo kwa omo ana na sa come tip off say Jack and they ba ho
yeah
enti be ya but who said new adi limos no well coordinated in such a way that Charlie said there any esi woman no apart from government a committee no Ghana for kasan so afi obia ni aba ho say yensuo and your forest nation obia ni akoho enti ama we no I well coordinated. Look at it and say I say gold board CEO
yeah
Accra trucks cars pickups a donating mom to mfanya adwuma the other you know na who say there was no commitment and for that matter those who were involved who were to make sure that you know your friend say galamsey and ye no all kono kra come de no
why is it
into one you know do what pitching mu no ni pitch ra na hyehyɛ ho say Jack and then there me ba say ne ebe you into one be wie na just one my adwuma wie dada but in this case now untimi nkoye business ho ya be chill my information is that most of them kra no enim say omo kono boys no me adwuma no
yeah
omo ne money bi on me their cameras but they don't even know and the cameras are being monitored somewhere. And you will least mistake. Yeah, bet you this one is more coordinated than the Operation Vanguard because from what Professor Frimpong Watkins report me and we say so Operation Vanguard na se for no. I na enya de be a beboa amia fight galamsey. But look at another day a sea or Western region. Amia say yes, there is pure commitment to it. And then on the morning show na CJ ne Western Regional Minister ekasai o see so why you wadun say opese oye galamsey e wo Western region there you wadun say ubewu that's what he said so why you wadun say obeye galamsey wo Western region there be ready to be killed that's a huge statement
yeah
you see na okọ ayi ho no nsuta ho no railway tracks no asie na yedidi asie no
yes so much nipa 15 also
so much nipa ohonum and it ubisa who say enti start free da ben and me nya sure say start free ne start ya che omodidi ase nyina o ya just say railway lines no hangi ya didi ase nyina che free takrade eba besi akọ ya didim takwa nsu ayem Pond Valley Huni Valley num na ko ni na no che so omodidi ni nam ya me nya sure say start free ne eti say Operation Vanguard no Operation Hwan na ba so no say na omuhu ya ana omu ye adwuma ni ya enko omuhu nka me du say but so omu say nema na ba bontin bebre a na che say adwuma ekoso enti na e ba bontin no say adwuma bi ankoso anka obi ehu kebe din so omu say nema na e ba bontin and I think that President Mama ni team no and especially those fighting the Galamsey Nasifon, they are doing fantastic work. They don't know about Muni in our chase at Tubicha. Because they didn't know my building a banner say, ye who a fede who say, hey, where Koswa near Nim, where Koswa near Nim at first, no, Kosu Batia.
Yes, society be near friend of presidency forest to say.
Presidency forest.
I'm the story be actual. Me wo hon mo no hini bi. O ma me kwan se me wo. Ne mo awonwi. Awonwi. Ana. Abra.
Ye modi.
Aye kwa ho.
Aye kwa ho.
Enti modi.
Be ka che se enipa se asumasi. Ya omu free presidency. Omo the tracks aba ho no mo a. Chese wo hini no ani te say ne kwaye ni nsuo na omo se no ohene ne ka kire mi enti ye hwe ne enya story mo na je say yentimi ensi sa de no ho kwan ye petition at the command your friend said then director of CID
Can you boy?
Debi am say na ye that time na ye oba de no wa Ashanti region no crowd the same ana can ye boy
Can you boy?
can ye boy
Can you boy?
the petition the command on here no story no affair starting say be your story no pe on here no friend catch him say I wa wonim say I party am wo mu me papa so your party pani pa wo enti story no almost say enye chiredi ami Kwabena enti me hwa sa na mbusa an say na wo de wo himfo ni bi a ehye wase no yo wo nkronkro nu ya omunsuo say number samame me no mo di kwa mo ti ase o mo gi atum abosan krofo nipa kase akese no mo Jubilee House ni din se tracks krom de ban kra no ye wo government of Ghana endorsement e wo ka no na wo hene no kra no wo ko kan ye no wo this is director of police wa me a withdraw security afri wo himfie because according to Ohene no this is the director of police na kaka kra bi so call retirement and na just say ono na chese woni ayi krofo ya hihye ho awe awon ya awe and no mo kwa awe you see and so there was no commitment there but you see America say you cannot go and do that apart from the security no apart from president Mama Ghana for say any wom and you say we least mistake Ghana for ankasa no ebe report o e de aba obi be gina ne fie baabi obetwa e de aba because won say ono so ni so sei the forest ya nananu di ja wo no sei and you say no there the awareness is there and I'm very happy because the yati de deni na kire say afei obi e hu de na first na kitafu mu wan
say ekro on say ni esusa no ukobobo na oti kokonua na ona na bi nia na wa tren se eye ha usu ni se ha na ho na atwa tu ona na de gu ba bia ya no a no wa yidi ko ti mo odi be ko wa de gu ba bia ya yidi
aso na won tv adu wo se sem kwa
anyway, thank you, editor. But my member, captain. So, captain, I no permit say, Obika say Omasai area arrested a year to me, and what they are saying is a political witch hunting. Is that what you see?
I mean, Galam say no honor kakra mebaha.
But it's the same thing.
Yeah, hypocrite.
Why?
Ghana for
why?
A hypocrite. Kwabena Galamsey fight no ho. Enyamrewu wa tokodo. Na yenka no kore. And Galamsey fight no success bi ebeba ho ma party ni ma politician in communicating success no. They should throw it out to the media to do the success storytelling. Also, when you live in a certain space, you must know the dynamics of how communication is being received. Then we'll be able to tell that. Adiana why na yampa sa why and answer one. What him say Ofosu Kwache, he's a solid communicator.
Yeah.
Fantastic one. Or tra.
Yeah.
But me pese this time round no. Say oyena ebeye year. Ka bibi say no on trauma. And no one can fan to the Facebook. Because it will be received with political thinking, political ideas, and political lenses. Even if it is good. Majority of the people.
No, but he's there to communicate on behalf of the government.
Kakakra. And we been a community Japan, yeah. One more time now, yana issues in the sea. One, so no communicating, ma'am.
Yes.
Go and read all the communications from government people. One more than
No, but they have the facts.
Baby, facts be at the end of the day, no facts near day. They appear bontain, they no one catch no fact near here. Which one was the truth? Was it their fact or the reality on the ground? Senior, Galamsey fight a serious national canker. And by way, 40% of the success age na Galamsey fight so
That's a fact.
okay.
That is a fact.
Okay. Naimos and Koma Edeno. When we search in Pia, Mancrophobinka. Kwabena, Galamsey fight na dahono. Between me no me no. Say here when new DC is wo.
Yes.
I didn't tell Galamsey the Dakos was a president to your pair. I don't know my friend who had two Galamsey wo.
Osino.
I don't know Sino ye two Galamsey.
Ekwan ho pe.
Maso kwanta dent na ekoso. Maso adu bia dent ye tu Galamsey wo ho. Takon so ayem dent na ye tu ho. Sa wo DC ya abanya commission no party AUF wo constituency ye do abankrama se edu nkatiamo ma me vela so ya mo interview aveto ya shortlisted my president abodin ma wo DC wunim tenchire poten pa say your president is against Galamsey na say that so koso ho akwa what does it tell you? Your answer is what?
better.
NDC executives, NDC members, two Galamsey says here. Then kind of current crowd so now. Some of the MMDCs are in the bush.
Last week, Joy, a story, very interesting. I think somebody, baby, about dinner, some manso. I don't know. That MC was a DC, no, deny it. Joy is more echo busano.
And I'm fee east.
And he denied, say, Galamsey Bia Kosu Krumo. Only for Joy to use drone to pick the area, pick the Chinese and the people in the forest.
Me say,
you know, such a DC must be sacked.
When we in a fight na ekoso no, me say sacked. NDC mbebune gumrem hodo so chen MPP fu mbebune wumrem.
And some MPP for the call.
Wamukwa, ya banya banti ya yimo egu nchen ya relegate mu.
Mokwaya.
Ya mokwaba.
Mokwaya.
And you can say.
Mokwaba.
Mewa. And no be no care was. Wọ́n na ṣe mu two Galamsey no yẹn kan no korẹ sẹ́ni ẹ bẹ yẹ a wọ́n wọ́n yẹ fighting at the end of the day they are dealing with party people so when you are dealing with them deal with them ruthlessly. Kwabena point number 1. Mpacho Attorney General wo yẹ ọwọ́ sisi yẹ. Mpacho Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament wọ́n na ẹ̀dá no in 2024. Wọ́n yẹ kan yẹ.
So ọ̀nà ẹ̀.
Yẹ fẹ́ ni sẹ́yìn. Your friend say.
Your
friend say,
why?
Body no now him.
Not any.
Me pacho.
Ag.
Yeah, Marasa Yanko to Galamsey. Yan mining, I will quiet moon. Why not na so me against Amrantum?
Parliament.
The Parliament. Parliamentary Subsidiary Legislation Committee. When we hear some of the woman who must have about plenary home will be discussing. Or chairman need to say, womb, afa.
But I think that one they are working on.
Kwabena, I don't want to hear that bro ever again in my life. Number 1.
Me sure say
Pacho count the name. I could have interjected you.
Demanding carry.
Senior, it will see a tax. Nya parliament na ditum.
Yes, emission.
ekwa eje friend emission eye musie tax na ye nuanu ko achim kusie ko bob fom popo ye GR hu se musie pie pa na edu achi
cheno fo no
ye friend musie tax enye mission bi awo yi Kwabena ye ntwam si etwam mahama ba yo nyimfi ho okay number 2 betting tax ye ntwam
normal claim
anko parliament e-levy ye ntwam
normal claim
anko parliament ada na samra we nko ade a chere di 9 months afi ne ye dwene ho. Why is this one
Omaleo
oh ye nei ye nya fa koi president hye wo mo ya na attorney general say akakra no mawie no mo de akona se ye gituma na afi ya hold mpacho menka minim de ameka na mitwitwa ma no
Mati
attorney general say wakatre land minister say onu nkohwehwe forest a ewo Ghana he na no famra de fa nka bill no what be that
may have issues with Sadia na Acheno.
asam na attorney general kan no
have issues seriously
time na okwa kwatena so as the attorney general say CA no oye MP no tesa committee ni so no okacha de then lands and natural resources minister say okofa forest and dan fa atache
because I mean who the
why you blanket
writing it on my Facebook
That's
page
right.
like
listen Dominic Ayeni is part of the problem. He's 50%. I am telling you today, Kwabena, the attorney general is part of the problem. On your balls to say atu forcing your balls were clear 3 bills 3 laws 3 then were clear free all and then we one akofa by a Dominic Ayeni na akofa by parliamentary subsidiary legislation committee on na ye chairman on a kofa asade ne bae say yenko 2 gold e we ye kwayem samra na ode bae no ohun say na ye the forest attache other than the offer ye fancy ama Kofi bo say onkofa list of forest mra na Kofi amabo no forest do e wo kroma
so no see wa timi asecure
what say so answer the bet me fight galamsey no me abai we me say galamsey no wa atoko no ade obetimi aye ma me magye adi say obetimi fight galamsey samra no mu ntwam
oh me sure
yes I be parliament subsidiary legislation committee and a yay so another subsidiary legislation committee na e wo hosesi an omu ntwa samra
so parliament na mu is on recess
oh
eti mo mumra
emergency sitting na ya na seche say
oh we dey omu ka emergency sitting
and your friend
but o maka say
wakofa asema ba bisa Dominic Ayeni akufa do from kufa show e no mba no be yes amra ne ma no
the president Mahama from
president Mahama so nka kire bagwe na frey no me kufa show be yes amra na Dominic Ayeni de bae no
obi send message bi os Nila Latte or say captain during the MPP administration we know of Wontumi we know of Charles Bisu and other MPP notorious galamsey dealers including the National Women Organizer. What stops you from mentioning the names of NDC members involved in the galamsey activities, if any? Back it with photographic evidence and stop the speculations.
Or behave it as a politician, maybe a fan to them. Profun Ochro. Who can DC back one day? I joy the class over.
Yes.
One day. Or Pesa Fena Mimesi Suman Samahama Kuraka say investigate Yamin. Into John Tay. I am Munja Sankola Grono. Yes, I said, baby, I dream in a codroom. Sa baby near my name way. In Crawford shop message, man, Crawford, no more forward. No more type here, my back. No, ye jack you. Ye didn't pretty have biddy wookrum hano. And you forward the message for me. Nafa Kwabena Kwabena Bobie as a non cancer captain.
Because I didn't know. Sir, DC Noah or Tono,
Kwabena. Me say, Sam Rana, Dominic Ayeni, at the Bayano. Sam Mahama and Shane Sam Rana through. Ought to be fighting Galamsey. Because when we are checking Crawford our forest, no compare no makofa, or more license, ye issue ma, say ya may to me say, ye mining our forest. Now, Attorney General Moon, Monsako go much. Because on one a cofa samara and buy, into to me found cocoa to me and found two. Yes, say, we to be a mining our forest. Ghana Marajiatum. Police debate the prosecutor. The law says they can mine in the forest. Chief, why you better start me?
Me can the aboa there. Sir, LI 2467 no. Me free say obia will take part. for that emrano to be carved and to be accepted by Parliament and for it to become a law. No, me feel so come now. I was say you prosecute any pan.
Me say Attorney General, you
was from
committee members. I
don't want to know the committee members. I know that.
I was prosecute you. I think it was a government sponsored this thing.
They claim that it was pushed through with force.
It was not pushed through with force.
But send more parliament.
It is serious.
Assuming without admitting. Dominic, Uncle Fanny portion or can't say no Penasumaramean.
At the committee level.
At the committee level,
because in Parliament, everything is documented.
Everything is documented. Uncle Famaramean.
Because they're serious.
Sir, Samrea will now more Parliament will recess. Now Kufa do Pia Mokufasho. And on Bejitum. And yeah, they will hear the whole Parliament to set a parliamentary subsidiary legislation committee. When they meet today, it is BAM. See. They will send it to John Mahama to sign. I don't know where you delay.
Because that law.
Kwabena, I don't know where you delay.
Criminal.
It is a say, why are you mining no forest? No, you are watching woman. I'm not any day bomb. Lawyers and them way. And brother, what kind of hand so much me here?
Like Oma, nine months for now, Quachu.
I want some more mining or quiet anymore.
Okay.
What the Marabe and Bono? Because Ghana Marana says here, Yaja to my young repealing and say, yet me, your mining. Am I issues license? So what are we doing? I say we are tickling ourselves and laughing. We are massaging and garnishing the issues as if we are doing something. Masa galamse fight na bang we wato kodo. Yen kanokure wato kodo.
Na obi asa ni message wato kodo na se ni say.
Ya wo ati ase wato kodo. SSA umuyi sa law ni free here. Kwabena na you say Akufado time no mo yes law no to wa Dominica yen na boa wo mo ye Dominica yen na o ya Attorney General mo mi sense as ma make sense boa o won constituency ni your friend Kufasho no ba no be yes amra de ma Kufado
anodi
samra ne ya ba beto
anodi
Kwabena wo de no to nchen a galamse aye wo krom ha nyina no ye wo he nya asase sheba asase wo Ghana ha ni owura land be na wo Ghana ha ni wura ni ho
se na se aban
wo pass si ye ti hoyi wo ho me ya mi fi a Messi ma me ko first excavator say me bu egu post be ba be if you say identity I am destroying a property
so when you permit
yes enti asase bi e da Ghana ha no e wo wura enti se ye kokro bi so no ye twa koku ato agu edi tu galamse ya wo de galamse for no wo wura mu ho hwehwe asase no wura na che no Upa me yanchi amahini 12 in code cell. So ukromo mahini. Akwadi cell. Yesha dan chine memene da nopa. Dan na hye ne chacha no da cell. Kwesi da court bi antenase. Then away. Wochi asase ni wura na wo de da tum. Na aban asage asase na fi nsem na aban aban dia. If Kwabena, if we don't apply ruthless measures, we can never ever fight Galamsey. Let's not tickle ourselves and laugh. It would be assassin if you pansem. Who we are, me, Chama would to me. Some of your penny and come a judge be obedient as him. My catcher said, man sentence be a hubia. Yamfa shovel, Sophie me and Sama Chama would to me. Yamfan Conumri Forest, no 2 to Kuru Hono. Philameno me uncle. Oh, Ubanumsu, Annie, Insuni, won't to me no Catamina so. Say a 24-hour economy. So we do want to be 24 hour. We are one at the Waban cry. Near the Wabesi, Makola, Praho, 8 hours, me uncle. Want to be private partner, a man so the Cocofodia. Fire service for Bonguna, on toilet and a pipi bench in the water. Chaleco for me uncle. Oh, we are now the Neko Rapole, a manager a hochi. Ochi. Ni number 2 national security no wada adache na come on ya sound no konwura mu coffee le amena no
campaign samam
was afraid of prekalo galamse fight na da ho biada kwabra galamse ya kun na da ho no enye nkwala kun ya yeso ye na den hwe Kwabena, you started fighting Galamsey Rolling Stone, but people don't know.
Oh yes, of course. Oh yes, of course. Oh yes.
You're fighting Galamsey or Rolling Stein. And then also.
Yes.
Now you keep to everywhere I am for it. No, I come for it. And I didn't kakran. That time now, why now Central Region and not to dance and not to water. Dina, you not confuse me. Rolling Stein. Atwata. No, you're Central Regional Minister.
Atwata the President Kufuor.
Okay. Oh, the Atata fund the Yaman Fan Kohona. Infante Atata near
Atwata. No, a chief of staff. Oh,
there been was Central Regional Minister be or they whichever.
Atubana and
Atwata.
And the Yentimi Ansah. J. Kufuor, Ebedi President, Obeshia how you Fulani for Toka, Ewokuma wooden important. Operation Cow Leg, okay, very good. Plus Galamsey, Mwa.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But J. Kufuor Koya Pepe, also to take committees, you be fight it, Yentimi. The Fourth Republic, are the first 2 presidents in them. You really do Professor John Evans 50 other meals or so. And also the boss with 3 years in the team on Accra.
And so minds, then one more, Yentimian solve it. And I joined by a part to 1. And then, yeah, Kaguna, so that time, the papa we were them. Your bojo mama to just Galam say, John and Timian solve it, Pam, not the coy. And I
took Kwabena.
Jamison.
It will be crying at the testament, Jamie Fansa. With that, at the other 2 hours.
Yeah, no. And your coffin and Nanebu. Ever saw a dear to say, Bessan, cry my.
We
no, we are grown and Sakufado so, and to me, I solve it. Samahaman Kentima own to me. Madame Catcher, Mammy, you know, when I answer it.
And correct.
Kwabena, what punish us as if we were a new year? Galamsey na ye na Galamsey na ye no. Akufa do mumra na omo ye to wona. Dominica ye ni na jede mra ne bre wo mu. O se dey 100 meters away from Nsuo to me to Galamsey. You're mining. Now in 1 day or say in 1 week or say 1 year you issue over 1,000.
Check for me if indeed Ayini was the committee chairman.
Oh, yeah, well. Kwabena Nkohoma Mobi and check it. He was the committee of the subsidiary legislation committee.
He was the chairman.
He was the chairman.
Okay.
Kwabena Onwa Mobi and Fabrofobia Mobi Atro Fabro.
No.
Onwa Kaso Yawe. And the committee no opposition ni netna so. Say MPP ni netwo.
I'm say you net so.
Enti ye no sa no wia. Ke da fe ye betena se say wo ye den na wo ka kire nipa say 100 meters away mama license say kotu gold e wo nso ho just 100 meters Kwabena
no sa anwa no kro ebegu
na anwa no kro sa ebegu he
ebegu nsuo no sa anwa no ebegu nsuo no
ena nyame nyansem no bebia kwae nam bia no nsuo so nam ho enti say wo ma kwae say ye kotu gold no wo kwae de mu a what my coin say nsuo no yes say no we are on the lacuna could be a question who say 100 meters away from the river is in the forest. You have given a license for somebody to mine in the forest, and you are asking the person, you have given him the mandate and the authority to mine in the forest that stay 100 meters away from the river. The president must be bold enough and tell us that number one, yeah, as I say, almost a kilometer away from every river. Yeah, mining be our home. I mean, the fish come now. The river no chair crowd there. And what kilometer? Because forest no. Compare the beer yama license. I will do forest. Egu. Yanka class 1 brofuna ye catch the yen and say when the last tree dies, the last man will die. Until we are not saying we do the egu catch the yen. Obi anyoshi. The camera see so. No, so me during your tazi, as a cotton dua. And you,
also I'm from Froca.
Fakot Nedia,
Froca. For good to necessary.
I'm saying I hear you, Krumhano. boys na won wura mu ho na etu galamsey no enye omu nyina na sika ni brenti na omu ho obi o ho a ne ma me yare da hospital ekom
onya
obi de dan ka ene ade ye wie eno a kwabra ho am na etu galamsey no kuruma boys na won wura mu ho de wo mo yasefo
no ni kapre.
The value of galamsey is $17.5 billion. The value of galamsey is $17.5 billion US. And your baby money and your chicken money.
We
are told of which when we are fighting galamsey that they are aware there are 5 major personalities. 5 major people involved in galamsey. They are the primus primus. So, bro, more lawyer from Mokan.
Kimpins.
Yes, so Kimpins and Asha Huamu. They are the people one of do musica crack excavators.
Excavator
and fine a back room. Now, Kwabena, Janazi we huye. Abai we buy no. Wayam rase. And my yam fa excavator no wakre excavator ba brahabo na be kire national security for ade kuna wode excavator ne be ye anakwabra moa enti say no yes ya geo fencing e wo excavators ho enti excavator no tu on kan be bia wode kɔ no tracker ebom kwabra ye tikrom ha ene ye lodu tanker diesel wo mu ma petrol wo mu ma kɔ Burkina tanker no tu ye bedu amasaman no na diesel na wo mu ina asan so na tracker bom sa tracker na boka ne hen
omu tubo tiko ho na tiko no na Burkina kwa
enti sa o ka tira be say
omu tubo tiko na tiko no kwa na nya kire Burkina kwa so na tagari si
ama ni
ya petrol
enti o ka tira say what the tracker abo excavator ho a that's a baby work but that's accepted. I didn't know who banning excavator, don't ban champagne. Why am I crash champagne back room?
And the bed champagne,
I say champagne on channel how?
What is so much trouble? Ho? Yeah, Kwabena. Yeah, hey, Madame Fubio here more habo. Last week Monday, and go for crash champagne over 500. Omai, you trade duty, Omai.
Champagne was near you.
Last week, yeah.
I mean, what you might be apart from seeing champagne could seem so much good to go. No,
maybe I see I fed the champagne. No, it will be generative. It will be the generator. And I'm so cool. Light is so. I'm the some of the sock here.
Champagne.
It is champagne. No, dear. Yes, see, I'm fast. Champagne should be seen so say no. Kwabena, the question is why the crash champagne back room? Opa yen ko parliament. Kwabena, shebenim mbekansem. Kwabena.
Yeah.
Why the crash and fine?
That Ghana for a crash.
Yeah, Ghana for a door, so you're Ghana and Ukrabi.
Miniska.
And in Ghana for why the crash and fine, young parliament.
Miniska.
Quabra Yambo parliament, you be who crash and fine.
Any drum the bay.
Young parliament house was here. And Professor Galamsey Sika, Abedi MP. Opa yem fe galamsey for dem busa say nipa do say na mo sponsor o mbedi MP opa say ya opa bi phone line to obeto aso kolokolo
ne ye no nko ha
aba logolegi obetim komo
am for grade di ahin ohina kwadwa aye galamsey sika na ye sponsor
fantastic
last 2 weeks osofo bi ni na sorema prayer warriors 30 ekogu site galamsey ni nu ba na sore eno akoka kire sofo no se baabi a otune de no oba ohun gold no
nti okoye na ho
omkoye 30 days prayer and fasting
say site say gold ne mra what dey talk na say
sanku for na say chi obia
what dey no to nchen a ye kwaje equipment na ye say ya hye no ye hye no na ye say akwaje pumping machine water pumping machine nti ya fight galamsey na water pumping machine go store warehouse I ain't you wouldn't do. For how long no bet me water pumping machine?
No, but now when they do it, they secure the place. Unless maybe they are lying. So someone say I could to be there caught that site would be very difficult.
Adia ba ko ama mani age kitwe bi eno ye kitwe bi o. Ogalam say fight you. E ye soja ni no da no. Ono nko asem na make you. Kana boa. him say China ni bit me nya kukudro ko bo na office or the 1.5 million dollars or command bribe. No video no. Anya so be video no on phone so. Wa. They
have money.
The question is, or you don't know who bo an office boy.
Nipa ne kire ne.
Say Goro boys for kwam.
Ti why ne hu ye no kire no. Na ye den kra ne ba ne tim say $1,000 anko. 120,000. Ye den na 1 million. 1.2. No sesa 1.5 kra no no ko. Ye den na ba tim. It means that the may be abesen ko no. What the 1.5 million ko pepa ho beto. Nti sa akwa no kra ye chi ni sese ye hu ba bi owo. Sa China ni Kwabena ye hu ba bi owo. Man fa de phone ni nchira.
Ye chi no.
Oh, of course, so kwako bribe dia.
Ana ye chi ni wie ya. Na ye hu ba bi owo. Nipa no chi no so ono so ye hu no. Kwabena na.
Kwabena
de o chi no ono so ye hu no.
Enti Galamsey fight no, SSC ye very brutal.
A man for say Chamfino is the new corn mill in some villages. It runs faster than the original.
Fufu machine.
China ni no ni. Oh no patch. Only.
You went to Brazil and you were sick.
China needs was me offer. I me offer.
Enti Galamsey fight no. Ye do baby SSC. Ahemfo no wo mun tikasa. Na nanom no wo mun nya de o mbetie kasa no. Enti ye nche won. Yen chia him for no be 10, 12, 20, 30. Engum
o meja nkwase ade no.
Ade Nyankopon. Na wa na ma hene. Say ye nya mfa wontum nti wonya criminal. Nti wo ko court a ye de uchi ne be sensi so. Na wo gina daka na fifiri. Wo ria na say ya santebe mu na ya ka chotumfo say sa ma hene we.
Ye hia o.
Ye we pad ye wura. Jane kwan na ye. Number 2. Sa no de Galamsey no ye pacho abanyaje assassin for 150 years
assassin
abandia for 150 years ye wi abeje mu amamo na se ye be ba beje mu na hospitals wa ye bubu ye beje mu amawo no na se factories so a aye bu factory tugu ye jeli ahemfuru bi Kwabena MPs na wo constituency ye tu Galamsey no wo ye ho amo Yambo constituencies no. You two Galamsey. Ewo hono.
Almost all the MPs that came from Galamsey
communities,
you know, they all benefited from Galamsey.
Constituency by no. Yemo we na swear oath on a national television.
So nye Galamsey en kan hu bi no de ba ya.
If you I am not in support of Galamsey. No apeja nsa.
Nti se kwaku free a
na kwaku free a
ya mo tigare
di amao
I want to be say yes Gadawu wa sama ya do fast and tell sama Gadawu
wa fu sha
ye wie eno a wo ho afei na ya catch na ye ho say whether state of emergency or no state of emergency say ye who say who forest BM and so who to Galamsey a operation shoot and kill.
That is where I think
you think is
no, people also have
problems. With
the Agra, you will have excesses.
We will never have excesses.
Excesses
egu posi for so excesses babati posi nje omo yeguru
no a different issue
nipa bi no ada dwom ye adwuma onye bofo a osoro oda nwuram
na make say because so call sites were we have innocent women who go there just to sell their water and stuff
na say Galamsey na ja okoto so na madua
say nipa ho ndi
ye jai Galamsey ye say apamo bi afri ho ye declare the place no operation shoot and kill okoto so na agba hwan na okoto so
obetimi anya obi a
no
na fom kwa so ana sa
forest e wo krum ha
ni paboni fo no ya ni paboni fo bi a oni ne wan se local constitution
Kwabena
na so me no mi free kwaye
ana wan ne kwaye wo obi for abai forest reserve
dabi oni from na fom kwa so
bi
and obenya sa ne man
I say Atria, the Suta Atria, forest they will be ponasino. Now, government, but then go for dog.
Kwabena. Government forest reserve yendom.
Okay. Well,
a reserve.
Matthias, you don't be a honor. South Forest Reserve, enough form quite. And I'm a
castle operation shoot and kill you, won't you see? Yes, who's a woo two or more young Porto. Okay. No, we are not working. I'll call the end of the Maybe I only put money for me. Every election is peaceful.
We have Kumasi issue to deal with. And I'll come back. We have like Accra100.5FM.
No, we are not working. I'll call the end.
It's a no
fights against illegal mining in Ghana has been historical, and when the first Portuguese arrived in Elmina, one of the first things we sold to them was gold, and that's why they built a fort in Elmina. Our grandfathers were involved in mining. The problem with the difference between then and now is that they use rudimentary tools to undertake the mining. And so the capacity to create destruction to the environment was very limited. The whole equation changed when the small-scale mining sector started deploying heavy earth-moving equipment. Before, it was only the big-scale mining sector that was involved in using excavators and bulldozers and huge dump trucks. At a point in time, the small-scale mining sector, which is a legal sector of our mining, it was passed in PNDC time to allow, because we realized that the big mining companies were owned by foreign companies, and Ghanaian small-scale companies that had the capacity to mine were prevented from doing so. And so the mining code was revised to add for small-scale miners. And as I said, there's a difference between small-scale mining and artisanal mining. Artisanal mining was what existed before, using pickaxes and shovels and so on and so forth. But when the new licenses for small-scale mining started, and they could afford to bring in excavators and bulldozers and others, it meant that their ability to destroy the environment was expanded. And that is where we currently have our problem. I want to assure you that we are determined to win this fight. And your contributions, your criticisms, your pressure.
And on Nathan Akutuse, fantastic show. Mpamocho mama mpone. Yes, remwa. Akwa bi ase abapon. Say yapona. Ye kwaji ahome ekakra. So ye kwa Gabi.
You can't say that any left Ashanti. Yet an angry person was apologizing for disappointing Ashanti, for neglecting Ashanti. Now if you want to win in 2028, and this is your attitude, that's what you have to say.
But 1 minute, editor, for say floods are taking over Accra. Baby Minim so receive such reports.
Report no pa circle ablikuma. Any friends of Anko. One more corner.
In fact, you're not a solo to me moving a car.
If we Achimota new plan. Kwa kosi Achimota more
Progress Road.
the show, now we on the run to move.
And then our Casanco for say talk is cheap. She wouldn't say Ghana yakwanya ye winina. See a very serious per se constructive router. Ghana yakwanya ye winina no less than 200,000 kilometers. The whole country. Yeah. It's a 3 years job. A 3 years job where you
Afa and so that first street no.
Kwabena hwe yenim bibia ma flood ne ba.
Oh yenim
yenim na.
Enti yenjai ka.
Yenim ni na.
Yenjai tui.
Yenjai tui. Kwabena yenim. President nim, Akufo-Addo no onim, Kufuor nim, Rawlings we wusha asama do ya we. Mills nim, JM nim, obia nim problem na ama incline. Enso ni yiri yenjai ka. Yet it one attach I could catch and say, or by your door, wakoji $1.3 billion. One more de bay means only not partner between for
now
1.3 billion dollars no cover daily graphic never anymore or baby dream him be skyscrapers.
But in seconds can
Sikano na away. Skyscrapers no I could find for the you get up and you talk nonsense. You get up and you open your mouth and you talk nonsense. And the money that you're going to use to do something, how can you put down the man then? You can start a skyscrapers. You want to put down my house?
Or you need
my neighbor house.
My neighbor house.
You see, Kwabena, me and crying sweater, in so the pa on to you me dying. Umbungu, my brain crying so talk. Casa home in Capshi.
Around him there, I say, no man. Yes, 30 years from secondary school nearby by year.
Every year be a
oh, Accra flooding. Yeah, started yeah reporter according to them reporting or don't nominate for and you never do so still Accra.
All right.
Sorry to move me.
Yeah, go to Gabi Ansah so that quick one
we let Ashantis down because we didn't fix their roads. MPP let Ashantis down because they didn't have flyovers. But I have been in meetings where MPs from Ashanti region have said that and yet flyovers they want their community roads down. And in politics, you are supposed to give people what they say they want, not what you think they want. They what? They wanted their community roads. And when you look at the number of roads that was done in Ashanti region, per capita across the country, you can't say that MPP let Ashanti region down. Yet, an MPP person was apologizing for disappointing Ashanti.
Straight, Captain.
Kwabena.
So, Ashanti region and MPP.
Sure, in a country where there are plenty lawyers, there are low layers.
I know.
Sure. My careful, I want to hear me sound tribal, but I am just hoping, praying to God to hold me. And see, what was Gabi? Ogusu a all kasano. Maami bi o she yellow. Na MPP mo flag gu ko mu no. O sorry fi ho. O sorry.
Sir, okay, cancel phone.
Aha. O sorry ye. Me gidi ye se maami no ya santini. Hwɛ asɛm na Gabi kan nyansa ba ko pebodin. Webiri obi kuro. Wo de nkyene agum. The person is going through this excruciating pain. And then you have the effrontery to tell the whole world, say, a Ashanti MPs. And the catcher will say, Wamumpe development. Wow. Ashanti for MPs, Yadamasi.
Hey!
And say no say chairman sabunsu. Say na wonam Kumasi nyina me di wachi wo Methodist aso dem wo so ame. Me pri nyina say Kumasi be yina. Say chairman sabunsu. Gabi say woni ni kwaye meeting. O ka kire ne say umpe development.
Open t-shirt.
Hey, honorable and the appear could be. Ha! Appear could be. Former Greek minister.
Also free.
Hey, honorable also free.
Akoto.
Hey, sana ye bon toa. Yes, and the ever 2024 abay. Mene Kwabena ne Sami Jemfi ye ni breye ye ni ho ancho. Sana mo Ashanti region MPs no. Samoni Akufa do de Gabi Ochida Akuma ye meeting say mumpe development to Ashanti region.
They claim he's lying. They claim so
hey, na po.
Oh, say na po di waka.
Hey, na sana na po ye MP.
They been nasa.
Hey, no
anyway. Ansah no be running it.
Hey, na po.
Na po.
Na po.
Kuna po. Me am senior.
Na po. Enti sana ye bon 2019 Asante tu no fa ko ye ntie. Sana wa one Akufa do ne Gabi Ochida Akuma ye meeting say Asante ehia mpuntu.
And that is the reason why ya ni ye pushi for mpuntu no na ye ho ye omo hi no.
Na ona de me tie we de me tiny say unu so akotena se ne Gabi ni president akobo sa apo no a. Uwie na ba foforo ba ya. No akotena say MPs in Ashanti for development. Okay, I say be going.
But Gabi is a liar.
Oh, what you saying?
Gabi is a liar. No, what about I don't know line.
Me and some of them are funding you know. So some we are Gabi kind, my funding you know. First part in America. To say Ashanti MPs no, we won't pay development. Mr. John Mahama. Onya de Ashanti region. Ma ye who say Ashanti region MPs no pay development. Otum for pay development.
Straight.
Yeah, ma minimum na ete central market no omo pay development. Enti yam fan said the Gabi kan ye no kore eno me side no. Ba Kwabena. Gabi ya choda ku nim nyansa. Akosuku kwa. Me do nyame.
Captain.
No.
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 That's why
I lie also onimi nyansa.
Na somewhere
and a son of
somewhere you can abonte.
Name on can he.
Na kan he. Somewhere you can. We party here president Mona Mosi 2028. Mo benya 41.8% 2028. Mo per party abedi power. Mo benya 41.8% 2028.
32.8.
24 major 41.8. Okay. Na 41.8 the kura ye bonya me so mpa se kakra beka ho mamu no. No mo de anye kura munya 42% no. Ha? Sa asem we ya no kura wo ye nyansani a wo meka na bonten da. Politics.
Amene no.
Dabi tie.
Unim me free say wo.
Oh, wonya ma wontem ase to. Enti di akira de say Gabi ne wo fa Akufa ado no already na kasa no wo pass anteman ye.
Okay.
Already no wo pass anteman ye dada. Enti fan say
I'm struggling to accept this.
Meba Kwabena say see a wotu hoi. Say wo ba. Eni kwa so ye bone a wo bonu kunu. Wo ba so pese odi jadi agro. Odi jana be ma no.
Dabi.
Nti sa Asante for MPs no kura be catch so mo pay development. We president adwin wo timu dey na say so
say who put a national development as a priority than will be
now do wo ka ho me bo.
Yeah, of course.
Nti sa wa anya na sa na kire say
Semina menka.
Hona me ba no.
Name na menka. Sir Blue Array.
Enti extra say na wo anka say wo mutim say wo pass Asante ye.
Na sala adidie.
Enti hwe wo senior. Na ya tigana ha. Na ne MPP. Ajija mana koduru ba bia. Hwe say ya nye careful a wo ho. Baby a MPP kro no. One shot. Senior high school elections. The candidate be Yakobi Lusu.
Adia yo.
MPP.
Senior high school elections. Okay. Oh, you were draws. School be Brown High for Dross. Drobo Senior High School. Me donyame. Edru baby no mo ka say no Dross no Dawson. Ti wo mo fa Royal. No mo de wo no koka ho na koye Rod Ross. Me say Royal Drobo Senior High School Rod Ross. Kura no ma anya careful. Omo the candidate ko belusu. Because as I say wo mo kasa no madwe nya dwuma. Wo mo kasa by heart. Wo realize ye. Hwede abora nya ye by heart. Hwede abora papo ye by heart. Gabi abesili ade no.
On the stamp is so.
It is what you stronghold. Where a dream be was Akufado in the chief one say, I said, apart from Womu, no one. As a woman, be we, Teluka so be a baby.
To usually almost say the next candidate.
That's what I almost say about me and Ankasa. I'm a do baby, but Nana Puna Ankasa, your campaign, Mama. John Mama, Lomotini, and I want it. And I want it. One one can say party right from the beginning. And it's a see Mugusu said, here, as some way Gabi Abeke for years to come, it will come back to hunt the new patriotic party. So I chimney be a unity to be the president of Ghana Habiuma, or patron the day to two. And to say, obit me no betrasi, a bopo bonnie to see. No, what is so. Young fan say Asante MPC ye yampa. Young fan so mukai ampa.
Upon Kwabena,
and the one who and so was who chip on Kono, was who do Tibu Bodem.
Upon Kwabena,
no, who do Tibu Bodem. It is a pam posse, Ashanti region MPC be catch newa. Once no Kojina Ashanti region, a catch on so be more interchange was swami. One now Kojina Ashanti region, a cast obey Mahama, a year a Katia, market no shots.
Gabi say in politics, well, yet your man for no pay, and yet dear war person your man for.
Okay, and the baby person Gabi 20 into a channel from Team Commanding Fadoma machine too.
Sentinel say also in your politics, be also wa brutally.
Baby, who the all person about politics be. The bush na for no good politics anymore say. Or ya aware. Akufa do good politics anymore support Okruma. He's aware. He knows it. Why ba president by even Rollins or ye cool. What he said was what you done. In the Fourth Republic, Ghana have from Kwame Nkrumah time or founded Ghana based in the President and Finance Minister Ghana. Why? What is to be Finance Minister Ghana?
No, but I raise you because we have Kwesiboche.
Mami Kwame Nkrumah, the Finance Minister. Kwesi Pratipa, Kwekuba Papa, no, no, could you go to the Nkafo, woman and Homo Buano, Manaye, Finance Minister Simi and Son Obi and Gane. Liman Finance Minister, when Yane. Yea, Yan Fru Amoso, Yambra Fourth Republic. Rollins, for Penny Kwesibuchi, Kwan Pepra, one more Tina Krumha. Can't prepare there are some tones so the two manu.
There's still
not to come or why not quiet? Salome. Kwame Pepra, what is so Danny?
Still, you look around.
That's it. Pacho, Kwesibochi, Odani. One call, yeah. Or quite no Kufobaye. Kufobaye no, or for Safmafu and Finance Minister. No, you could do my redo, Petuaso. Or Safmafu, where Danny. Very good. Kufobaye no, Professor Melsabaye. No, the Kwabena before. Yeah, Papa Doctor, former governor of Bank of Ghana. Ebeyano, Finance Minister. Pacho Kwabena for your good bank of Ghana. Very good. Or call ye na pepe na John Mama baye. And a John baye no, or Befa Setepe. Ebeyano Finance Minister. Pacho Setepe, Wedane. Very good. Eba ne say ne bedu Akufo Addo nko aso no kwan Finance Minister Ghana. Onyare Wedane. Hwenya no. It is a woman president. He's the only president in this country. The finance minister. The only former president. The only former president in this country and the finance minister. Ghana for engine or money, they be a better adubi or president Teddy be in now.
Yes, come here.
Let me in now. Ononkwa is the only president ewo Ghana ha the finance minister waka kwentrum nso Dade Lumba wu shafrejim waka kwentrum and Dade Lumba wu shafrejim Ghana
ya ka kwentrum
we nyo ya ka kwentrum waka kwentrum waka enti kano forata ntimi mba Ghana kano forata akufado finance minister. When he said Fourth Republic, you know, also spent a 7-year power chair. Oh yes,
he was the longest serving finance minister. And few watch it.
Crane. Office na ka be 6 months.
When free so, I sakwana mean anta we say. Say won go fa no ba no. Twa wo mo twere be say wo mo dan bi a first no. No mo de be question no mo adada me pia bon tia no masere sa. E hona no mo de question no mo akere ne yonkonkoka.
Can you imagine?
Can of Rata de no. E ko say Dr. Richard Anani. May I see you as road minister. And so want to sign contract. They are backdating. No. What are you talking about?
I can one say advisor.
Oh yeah, no, you can for Yata, no, by you can for Yata, presidential special advisor on finance and economic planning. Into a corner sort of.
Because you call not
so we know be a bit demand penniness and a finance minister to me, Janet Carquentum. Say I'm no say. What do you say, Kenofriata? We're moving to 7 countries in less than 1 year.
On travel.
Oko Cayman Islands, Kakra. No, I bet Chemako France, Kakra. No, I bet say call a Hakakra. No, the Akobo Hakakra. She has a bobra papa. O two for Poku and the kind of sense it's a way in the year and Kawanimun Benyam. Or catch on him be a member near Yetuna Kunaso. Or since the idea panties a way in the year Kawanim and Benyam. And if president obi a wadi akonwa wi and finance minister adwane wunsuru no kwabawti to abodi unsa se make na ye won pa finance minister bia agide a won asabe won ko mo krachi nyame fo mo kranse yi won akai no obi atekro yi kwasi botwe okọ ne krachi otena ha no okọ ne krachi kodwo ban redu okọ ne krachi otena Ghana ne ko ne krachi kwam pepra otiase otukrum ha yai onko babia meboa setapwe otukrum ha onko babia meboa osafmafu onwi otiase otukrum ha ya onko babia meboa sese ya me no kase akufa dofo oteha onko babia akufa do finance minister we
okwayare hwe
we do tie chire ajeje ho
dabi ne wododo no
akufa do finance minister no okohen.
But I think say for 8 years MPP decided say Ashanti region they can go to hell. And I think Obia Kunumame
Kwabena East and the amount the highest number of votes a year Dr. Koko Timba by. Na Kwabena for a complaint to Amakwanye. President Enya opportunity our radio show Kumasi the heart of Ashanti. Catch what I'm saying. Some more press conference complaint say mo me amaya kwan mamoa montoaba kokromuti
aya menya
ya kan yi
sadam ya se wo ya ba mo de ana ya so abaya mame o kokromuti no ya wankasa wo de se ya me se wo se ko fa de sem no kasai that's how was a press conference ko mo kwa sem ba me na samanya ko mo kwa that's how menya wo se won so abane mame na de ya wa wasem I ya wa de bi okawa wasem ni tu asa wo so ya me misquote me former president former president men yes ade no
me pa cho Martin
that's how many I was so na so won so abane mamia and is there ya wa wasem wa wasem ana me bwana koko motin ya wa ode
ya empire me President Mills Mr. President Mahama. Mr. President Mahama pa.
Mahama yere.
Adia wonye that's what some aga bia koye nti. Asase mo ko kan fa Ashanti region.
Oh, ndi develop Ashanti.
Ya Ashanti fo. President Mahama aniema be baako be me nsa.
Ebi o.
Onye wa Ashanti.
Mahama ni bibi ese so ya Ashanti region. Mam try. Dabi. Dabi bibi afoforo bia ho.
Dabi.
Tete Mahama wie Central Market.
Onye Krofro market.
Krofro market dey
on one sense. Mahama wi. Ade papa bia wa Ashanti region bia no. NDC na ye. Open
Matias, Madam so
apart from Kufuor emergency Akufo Addo
onye ko from
o man yiri ko bu hospital
interchanges no on the Kufuor emergency can so be 5
yeah
onye 1 and 2 so am there
for wachi
so am there
man for wachi
Oba jalo ege
machi adepa bi adi okay
ade na ya me ya Kwabena ma me go fi
Kwabena momodia no onye saade no so yes ane ma miensa wie the greater
what's on your day say why J Kufuor Mahama Dwen Papa woni trim o si afarit military hospital no 38 military hospital no sabe Mahama o tani me wa so tani
I na monka so bi tani ato sebe
me fa sabe nka ho me fa sabe nka ho Mahama tani anka ebi odebetu Bukari Yakubu
of course
and so Mahama say yem friend J Kufuor 38 military hospital adwane Kufuor team no Akufo Addo buy oye not doing say na gabi ochenda ko say Ashanti region MPs any ono ne Akufo Addo ay meeting say mo develop Ashanti
region make say
nti eno aka ho Kumewu hospital aka ho Aferi aka ho Central Market Ketia aka ho name enti Mahama yen so be kwakoya ade foforo bia ho dada na o sha ase na say na Akufo Addo oni Ashanti region MPs na ko meeting say Asanteman yen say na yen to abakwa ye petition enti wo de dada na o sha ase na no onwi mako
nipa kwasia
mo na mu kwasia mo
be chemu ni just 3 minutes
o da bi de aka ne fani na
ya pokra enso
me pom na me nu agra ka ba me twem na ayese enso na atoro di anwashi
ya keka
be di traffic mbe say 1.5 hours from Kolebutua anwashi edi for vanche na o sebe bana be ka kire ti for sebe na mko aso na baba bedru captain ne di aya adwuma ni nyina eno ana maka no gabi de se wo dwene ne ho a o de onsa be guti
wo na afon
na wo te o company kaka gabi ba be able strategies chief strategies papa de ma
wo di de che obabu na
gabi de ma o re fi so de ma otumfo bu fu ya o ka so de be di to mo ma himfi bio
yes
MBB for Kopacho. Sata o 2 Pesquef World Bank. No mo se ken for ata na le ku fanuti. O sa se o mudwa Asante manye no. But Asante MPs no mo fu enti no. Gabi ene na ku fadu ni ken for me manipulate o mo fu. Yes Ghana point me ka jo Asante ma de ma mo t-shirt no no mo hia. Wo to on t-shirt ye dida now. Eti be na no nka se jem. Na be mo say na MPs let me anya gugudu o mo respond. Who is Gabi Alamun to be responding to him, my brother or Abem? The position is
but no power.
Idea power. In fact, I never called Mammy who said, but change that we are so weak. They say, maybe your back catchers are married deal. Ya set a committee, Gabi just set a parallel committee. And until Gabi and a detail. Then I watch also a week, sir. And as a minister, I'm going to Yagma. So be Jimmy, I know that you are the man. Gabi a good Jumana, we are on in a local for the sale or say, or quoted Africa Prosperity Network on Africa politics be one mekanjro sa or 3 years can musa say adwuro aro asa costa policy
say debi o sika na ndu yo o mo timi fa ni
ala say no say adwuro la we mu say we won jabi
akwai kumsa
it was start a launch the political career or sa bebu bi say ayefo ti di o ka chom so say mo de ma mo nyin dum say ayeboni o na obere na de contest say ye be ya ye be sa kwakọ dada asantefo na say bi adwene no form. Can you imagine hwe no Gabia wo ka kire you see sometimes when they asante madefo di agura
o me ka say honoma ne mo
na wo so ka on yan ka
Gabi
say Gabi o to say you
ese wona wadwe mo form
you are dinya me major politics ne I'm going
Kwabena
akwa we tu ya ka gbasa sem we obenyala mo koto no oka wi obeya asante ma dem bisi be fro o sale ti o omusiro no
chale sasa no kan say ho amna ka be repeat
wasi o your friend say asante fo no na mamu nkasa say de be konne atumi ato o meto abana be na aka say ya anya ne o ma ye be de ne ko a o mato abana meto de see be yusu asante ma ntemu a de nya vote wara asante region there is no MPP because no any chebi and all the tunu chebi o kwa chebi NDC nya 54 times and NPP nya 64 times. 10,000 difference be.
Yeah.
Obudu opposition some the party NPP for na Asante for na Jata me ni Kofi 1 2 3 4. Ye na be duru ba bi ye kasa so we mu na ya Asante for mu na ye omo pen NPP ye de che bi fu na all differentiate. We na nim na so ye coward.
Gabi.
1 2 3 4 Kofi 1 2 3.
Kofi do beka.
Obudu ba bi ya de o se de nya Asante for na NPP e do makuma so.
Ye che bi for.
Ye de che bi for. No ma ka chiro ayi. MPP ba ya na enu na mamu se asantefo na di UPH bebre na no obu biti o madwene eni no bi di less than 10,000 people can vote no di 30 man. What was Danko's role in the UP itself? Danko what was his role? And so almost jumps Danko Buzia Dombo.
Dabenkwa.
Mama biti wemo eka assembly eka party porter crowd position munye boom. Eso abasa krabo dakana to on guard your enjiro mo say on ganjiro mo ayafu owo menye musiga ibedi etu na no nyomia no to no se dey come here what the microphone trailer no say oh no see on the party me na ba say nyo say dey
say dey am say na tufo
oh ba ye man fa bibia mfum bibia le se be ya be kasa credit
into 2028 MPP the candidate beba.
Aye. Beba.
Na me ka so be busa so me ko Ashanti region akoye.
No. Oh, Ashanti region campaign dey say dey ya. O me yan won mutiti so party executive.
But all leadership no just so me ba na.
Until wo the presidential candidate.
There be say sikari bi so say dey wo say e say wo ya so wa me wi.
Say na me yan san ma kan sem.
Wo
the presidential candidate.
Say you go say.
Abi dey candidate person ka.
Candidate beba.
Oh beba say you go say.
MPP the candidate beba.
Oh yeah go say for omo ba beji.
Nti omu wi a. Omu call regions ni na wi a omu kwa Ashanti.
O me ba ho a.
Omu stronghold.
Me donya.
Omu de nyu one be ko. Erade ka sa.
Yes sir.
Ma wa go ma Tobi. Na wa sa ti TDC o. Ansah for go.
Nyame Kwabena wa bre.
Ave di enra ba omi ase. Mesrawo.
Na no so mo kasa ba ni nya ejimifo.
Sa ozi unti.
Ozo mu nya ejimifo.
Sa oni obi nya wa sama ankoka maka.
Enya me ga wo. Me de me ni huni asem.
Uri ba bi o kan ye mobo. Mesrawo amo mo 20 abe sai ba brabo.
Me ni huni asem.
Onu wo mu kasa di omu na ejimi di omu kasa mu ro me de me ni problem. Ya se boy si ya so go ja communicate. Se ba be ya ma.
Amasai ma brabo. Mesrawo.
No, but on a more serious note, I think, sir, somebody should set the MPP down.
Obieno obese fa like.
No.
Penny ni mo. You say the penny ni mo.
No, Dabi. Share.
Why they cause to
No, me can say Mrs. here. Party ni say the TB and you pro ho na J ko for free.
Agree.
You pro ho na Hackman o so ajban free.
No, national council chair. And them money.
One go dey penny o tell you one go na abo amala say more.
E ho na Hackman.
Hackman abo amala say more. Aye
Chief divisionist.
One go na say no more. How one say omo subo bi omo fa mo Hackman.
I know them but share party ni penny for that na say.
Egwawi
MPP ni guo wo ho. F
na guo what you say ni guo
ade cancer party MPP ni guo fontem because bema e mami ensa na ware no wanya careful wo hu de obema na breakfast wonim say MPP wo ye mami ensa mo ware bema ba ko
say ade bia ne say no emre
che wo mo na say dankwa buzi ani domo sa 3 ma we e ma 3 we wo na e ware party no
Aye.
Enti no say ade bi sa no eji egu a aya na egu ntem.
Egu. Say if we fantifo so mo nka gate no. Adafo so mo nka bi go mo hweda go buzia do mo na. ɔmo baby ɔmo fete.
I see.
Nkrafo nso ɔmo so ɔmo ho baby ɔmo fete.
Cape Coast na kɔ hɛ.
Yɛ fira de sɛ.
Say Cape Coast for NPP for no baby say ɔmo gya ɔmo didi. Say ɔmo na kɔ didi ku NDC.
Ayi. Ale baby no so bɛ party no. Fɛ kura kɛkɛ.
Wati.
adudu okunu bi.
Wo yɛ den na.
Ɛkɔm
Ɛkɔm de kum.
Baby no so bɛ party no. Ayɛ fo kura.
Wɔn mpanyinfoɔ no ntena se na wɔn ne hwɛ. One chip the penny being trust no one kasa said baby agro ne
Captain Penny nim.
Oh, why no kasa say
Penny bang.
Are you telling me say Jay Kufu?
No. Who tell no kasa say your kasa gro yenti. I know the go.
Would Thank you.
Finally. Finally. 1 minute, man.
1 minute.
Kwabena. Who made Diane FM Kuku?
Yes.
Say Diane.
Yes.
Yem Fansa.
Debbie.
Maybe.
Thank you. So, I'm out for say the way more appetite and no Johnny no be show.
Catch you almost say energy. Kwabena ya we, kwachi ya we. And you tell me yes, show me buy Apple score or T1 Jamio. As to be so 75 because the Casa member. I didn't pay the program or them be a flyer. And there is a chance of Saturday.
Okay, thank you. All right. Happy birthday to you, Prophet Emmanuel Yalbedu, General Overseer, Triumph Christian Center. From Vanessa, Accra FM, Class Media Group, Marketing Department, to you, Prophet Emmanuel Yalbedu. And I say, Captain Smart. We are grateful to Emmanuel Dia. And I say, Bema Solomon Owusu production crew. Thank you so much. Odisheba Ewaha.